Ready? Alright, so it's the time of day. It's called Thursday morning. And oh dear God. Alright, so we had a good show last night. It was a combined show between the different things. Instead of just going from World of Warcraft to the main show, we segued right in. The switches get some noise to them. Alright. Oh well. Can't do much about the switchy noises. So probably don't isolate it. There, that does it. Isolate the sound. Isolate the snack crackle pops. What is it that's doing that? The other microphone cord. Oh, one that's not plugged in. Right. Alright, that makes sense. So that one's not plugged in, so we're not using that. So I was just picking up noise. Alright, so first thing I'm going to do is let me get the rest of the cameras working, because I kind of didn't get a chance to initialize everything yet this morning. Because I was trying to do some preventive maintenance at the same time in the background. And but no matter how you do it, always comes out morning. I know, that sounds stupid, doesn't it? Well, the thing is that, the only thing I had a problem with last night was, that Ed unintentionally was almost going to start another argument again with me, and fortunately that didn't happen, which is good. So we just got ready for the morning show like we always do, night show like we always do. One of the people Red Foreman was chomping at the bit to tell me how many minutes I had left to play World of Warcraft. Red, I have a watch. I already knew it was getting close to that time, so. No, it wasn't Ed rubbing the mic. It was the interference from the channel that wasn't even having the microphone plugged into it right now. So, allow me to demonstrate. This is the microphone channel that we're not using right now because everyday use we don't need it. I'm going to turn the sound on so you can hear what I'm talking about. Okay. Now you can hear the noise is not here right now. Okay. So, what it is the I'll just turn it off again. Okay, just the noise is caused by the situation where you got audio inputs are on, but there's no sound being produced. Okay. By the way, if you want to know where Rusty is, he's with Ed. They're both sacked out in the bedroom. So that's just fine. It makes it easier for me. I don't have to worry about the cat trying to knock everything over. How you doing out on the wire? So as I said, the panel is already up. If anyone wants to come on it. And I thought the Monster vs. Monster game last night was pretty good. Although I didn't quite understand all the tricks of the game. It seems like there was a lot of people that had a good time. How you doing, misspeaking? Mess speaking. 75. No, but the Mythbusters have tested it. It turns out that it doesn't really work too well, despite what Shrek does. Maybe Shrek has a different earwax composition than human ears, but it doesn't work with human ears. But I just found out some very interestingly good news for us from one of the weather channels I watch, which is on my Discord if you want to watch it. He points out that next few days is going to be some nice snowfall. And Connecticut, originally, we were supposed to get snow, and then it changed to sunny, and now it's back to snow again for Christmas. So, let me tell you the details as they are right now. Okay, Friday shows 50% chance of snow. Woo! That's good. Saturday, freezing rain, high is 60%. Sunday shows no snow, but sunny at high of 4. Monday, cloudy, high of 2. Tuesday, cloudy, high of 5. Wednesday, 40% chance of snow, a high of 4. Thursday, cloudy, high of 4. Friday, next week, New Year's Eve, 40% chance of snow. And Saturday, New Year's Day, and 3 degrees is high. Also, the same for Saturday, 40% chance of snow. So it's our season is slowly ramping it up here in the Northeast. And of course, the Midwest is like good some things too. Because it's a system that's coming up here, so it's gonna be a white Christmas day. I hope that still works out that way. But getting it down to science is not exactly easy. Democrats who called for defunding the police amid the Georgia Floyd protest change course as crime skyrockets. Cause of death revealed for NFL star found to be dead in a hotel room. I'm just going through this real quick here. Americans tell Fox News what they want from Biden for Christmas. Yeah, him to resign. Police officer knocked unconscious and by suspect during booking at headquarters. Jury returns for day 4 of the deliberation in trial of ex-cop Kim Porter. FDA authorizes Merck's COVID-19 antiviral pill. Ahead of holidays, grocery store shoppers react to surging prices. Yeah, let's talk about that one, because that one is more likely to hit everybody here. Shopping is becoming expensive. In fact, it gets worse than that. Take a look, for example, with a case of pet food. I don't know if you don't have pets, you probably don't think about this, but pet food is expensive too. Everybody kind of forgets that your pet supplies have gone up a lot. There's a shortage of pet food, including cat food, dog food, hamster food, gerbil food, horse feed. You know, which is kind of more livestock or animal, but same thing with them, the farms, the same thing that they're running into, the same problem, of course, individuals are running into with their pets as well. Gonna be minus 35 on Christmas. Nice. How much snow you got over there? I don't know if it's been the most cold winter yet, but you know what? Right now, we've had it pretty mild for a few days. Remember, winter only started just like on the 21st. You gotta remember that, okay? 21st was the beginning of winter. So definitely snow coming in, yeah. 10 feet of snow. I don't think he means 10 people's feet wearing Nikes. I have 5 pairs of Nike sneakers here. So that's 10 feet. So 10 feet of coming. I don't think that's what it meant. Yeah, I could just see someone saying, I got 10 feet incoming. What do you mean? I got 5 pairs of Nikes. There's your 10 feet. Not impressed. When are you ever impressed? Duh. You're never impressed with anything we do. You're always complaining, picky, picky, picky. You're like wall bombs. Picky, picky, picky. Stop being picky. Once in a while, come on, Noodles. Loosen up. You can... So, panel is open, guys. It's on pinned link above. If you want to come up, Noodles, actually anyone, but anyone actually. We'll see what we can do to get you guys on here today. I don't think that'd be a good idea. You talk about someone that could basically totally destroy this channel without even thinking about it. No. We're not going to mod game anymore. We're tired of that game. People who got wrenches, and those who been positively contributing to the program for a while may get a wrench. Notice I said may, not always do. Right, we have enough mods. That's the reason. Alright. Noodles is ready to yell at me again. Speak.
Hey, Michelle.
How you doing?
You want to hear some of my COVID gas? Hold on.
Speaking of that, the FDA has approved the Merck's COVID antiviral pill.
Of course they did. Are you going to take it?
Well, it's not exactly something I'm likely to see an over-the-counter product because it's probably not even an OTC medication.
I think it will be over the counter, 100%. I think if you got it, you can go into any pharmacy and just prove that you tested positive, and I guarantee they'll give it to you. I think that's how this medication.
If you tested positive, they put you in the equivalent of quarantine just to get you. You start walking in a pharmacy in a bubble wrap bag.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I mean, you tested positive up until that point, you know. So I mean, where were you before that? You know, people still got to be wearing masks and, you know, being cautious.
Yeah.
I mean, who really knows when I got it? I only know I tested positive on Tuesday, but I don't know when I got it. I don't know when I was contagious. I could have been contagious, you know, a week before.
Let me say one thing. This is my opinion, YouTube. It's a very honest opinion. We're making a big deal about this, but we never make a big deal about the flu. I know it's more serious than the flu, but yet people die of the flu every year. And yet we don't have people running around wearing masks when during flu season.
Yeah.
We don't have people like shutting down businesses over flu season. It seems like we're making a big deal about this virus, which appears to be some man-manipulated thing that was done in a laboratory. That's what it appears to me to be. And it's a man-made, manipulated natural virus so that we can make it more stronger and virulent and more deadly. It's not necessarily in its natural form.
Well, this isn't going to be stopped. I think that, you know.
I think we need to find out who's flooding the market with this garbage, and they should be executed. I don't think it's accidental.
I don't understand why someone like you or me can decide one day, hey, I don't want to participate in this. I mean, this is one big test what they're doing to people with giving them the shot. I have a friend that works for Pfizer, and he's telling me, he goes, the problem is that when these people go get the vaccinations, they're not getting a physical before the vaccination. So we don't know, or they don't know what's wrong with you. They don't know your medical history. They don't know anything like that, and they're injecting you with a friggin' you know.
Right. Well, my doctor did check me out. He said you would be suitable for the vaccine. I said, well, I don't want to take the vaccine. So, and just like that, President Trump said, he thinks
everybody's suitable for the vaccine. Pregnant women are. They're giving it to pregnant women. So what are you talking about? They're the most precious out of all, Michelle. Michelle, if they had to choose between a pregnant woman and you, they would choose the pregnant woman. They would throw you to the curb.
If you have pre-existing conditions, like you said, you might not be compatible with the vaccine. That's what I mean. Again, that's my opinion. You two, don't bitch. The point is that every single latest strain has been coming from South Africa. And so I think somebody in South Africa is cooking it up in a lab somewhere.
Well, you're going to find out in 30 years that the United States was involved in this. And in 100 years, they're probably going to come up with some kind of guy, some scientist that was responsible for it. But we'll never know about it.
I know one scientist that is partially responsible for it. Right now, Biden keeps kissing his ass. I'm talking about Fauci.
Yeah, this is fact now. That during the Obama administration, this guy was supporting projects like this.
Right. And he was doing some nasty stuff to dogs.
Hmm.
He's a madman. That may be true in part because viruses do mutate. But I don't think it's entirely true because I think somebody, especially seems that South Africa is a hotbed. Some lab down there is making up these different variants. I mean, I'm not sure if you've been looking at the way the stuff spreads. A lot of the newer ones are starting from South Africa.
Yeah, I think the Delta variant came from India, right?
Yeah.
And
No, actually, it came from South Africa.
Yeah.
Oh, you're right. Delta, I think they come from India, maybe. But Omicron came from South Africa.
Yeah. I don't know. Michelle, listen, you're never going to find out who did it. And there's probably going to be no one to blame. They don't want you to blame anyone. They don't want anyone being sued over this. They don't want a war kicking off over this. But I guarantee you, if someone ever got into office and could prove that a certain country did this or whatever, there'd be a war. There'd be a humongous war. There'd be a world war over this.
Yeah, it's possible, but then again, if that country itself finds the mad lab that's doing this, that the lab will be shut down, a person will be tried, executed, and that'll be it. It might be a couple.
They're gonna. They would say a country backed it.
It could even be a terrorist organization that's behind this too.
Usually, these organizations are protected by governments. So
yeah, if the government knows that the organization is doing it, well, then that means that the government needs to be questioned. Why are you doing this? Why are you defending them? At this point, it's all conjecture. Is that possible? Yes, it's possible. As far as why would the reason be? Money. Obviously, there's money to be made in this. I don't know why cats are very important for the ecosystem. If we had no cats, you would be bubonic plague all over again. The cats are the ones that take care of the rats and the mice problem.
Bergs is allergic to cats, Michelle, just so you know.
Birds are also afraid that they're going to become eaten by cats.
No, Bergs. Bergs.
Oh,
Bergs. Yeah.
Oh, Bergs. Okay. The translation said birds.
Yeah.
Yeah, Big Pharma is making money out of this. So is the healthcare industry in general.
Well, everything's going to start making money off this. I just bought this cup of ramen, right? 69 cents. 69 cents.
From your sink?
Huh?
You mean you actually have a little coin dispenser in your sink that actually charges you 69 cents per cup of water?
No, this cup of ramen noodles.
Oh, ramen noodles. Okay.
Yeah. 69 cents. Usually they're like 50.
Yeah, well, you ever see how much a roaster chicken costed?
I remember $3.99.
5-pounder costed almost $20.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. It's insane.
Red Foreman says, as the polar ice caps melt, the most diseases and viruses still begin to spread like they were around millions of years ago. You would think we'd have a problem now. Just wait until the Earth heats up more. The Earth is not heating up, guys. The Earth is not heating up. Unless you mean from the heat from the mantle. The Earth itself is not getting the kind of sunlight that would heat it up that much. Right
Do
now
you hear
we
that
right now
scientists?
we're right now we are in our apogee. No, yeah, apogee. We're the furthest from the sun right now because it's winter. Yeah,
You hear that scientists now believe that there's another ocean underneath the ocean?
yeah. There's freshwater sources of water underneath the ocean. Yes, I heard that.
But they're saying that it could go on for miles and miles and miles before it hits. Like it could be deeper than the deepest oceans on our planet that we know about. Which means that it could be the it could be harboring more life in that ocean than on planet Earth itself.
Yeah. Do you believe in the Hollow Earth theory?
No.
Okay. I'm not sure I believe it either, but we do know that there's some pretty big holes in the Antarctic. Um,
That guy Robert Byrd, right? The Colonel Byrd or whatever.
yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? He said that there's a civilization there. There's civilization in there, and we don't know about it, and whatever. Maybe just like crossing the Atlantic Ocean or the Pacific Ocean or all these oceans, maybe it's just unknown like that, and we have to eventually go into the Middle Earth to discover these places.
Right. Well, all I know is there's a lot of parts of the Arctic and Antarctic, especially Antarctic, we haven't quite explored all of it yet.
Hmm.
You want to talk about inhospitable? Go to the Antarctic sometime in the midst of their winter, which is our summer. Trust me, you would find it almost unbelievable at minus 100 degrees Celsius.
Oh,
Yeah. Really bad day for you if your heated gloves or your extra thick parkas and stuff fails. Then you're gonna be frozen cold. Die of exposure. A lot of people always. That's one reason why NASA trains a lot of astronauts in the Arctic, because it's a perfect example where you have to depend on your equipment to work reliably all the time. Only for reason no flight sown for a reason. Yeah. Well, I'm sure there's a lot of things out there that Admiral Byrd would have told you about.
all right, I'm back. Sorry.
But like you said, people didn't want to hear it. Maybe because it sounded too much like Joel Verne's Journey to the Center of the Earth kind of thing, where they actually went into the center of Earth and found a whole entire civilization within the Earth. That's kind of where the Hollow Earth theory comes from.
Well, I think what I think it is. I don't think it's they don't want to hear it. They didn't want to, whatever. They don't want anyone else hearing about it. So, for instance, if this cube that they found on with that rover, what is it? The Chinese rover spotted that cube on the far side of the moon.
Yeah.
If it turns out that that's actually a base, right? Which I truly believe it is. I believe that the reason why we've been going to the moon is to build stuff. I mean, are you going to be surprised if it's a human base?
Some say that the moon is hollowed out and is full of interior rooms.
Yeah, but how do you know? How do you know we didn't go to the center of the Earth yet? They probably just didn't tell you.
Right. They are the ones who have the money to invest in all the technology needed to do this.
Yeah, they don't want you knowing. They don't want to share the Earth with you. That's why they keep things a secret.
Yeah.
They don't want MicheleMarieDalene going to the center of the earth and fucking things up for them.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. Someone did say they found steps on Mars. I didn't find anything videos about steps on Mars, but they did find large amounts of water in one of the canyons in Mars that's just below the regolith. So, water, drinking water, that is. No, it's
I have a
not.
feeling that you're going to find out that all these planets and stuff get spewed out from the sun. They shoot out from the sun, and we're traveling away from the sun, and eventually we will be where Mars is, and a planet will take our spot, and there'll be life, and it just keeps on going like that. There's a perfect.
Well, the sun does not spew out planets. However,
You're
it
going to find out.
captures
You're going to find out.
planets
Yes, you're going to find out that it does.
Gravitational pull.
Listen, Michelle. I'm always right. I'm telling you right now. The fucking sun is spewing out planets. I'm telling you right now.
No, it's not.
How do you know?
It's not spewing out planet. It's attracting other extra
How do you know that? How do you know that? Who told you that?
Because it's a rule of gravitational pull. The sun is big.
But how do you know that? How do you know? How do you know it's not pushing?
How do you know?
Have you ever been behind a friggin' rocket jet?
Well, then how do you know?
I'm asking Does the rocket jet suck you in or blow you away?
Oxford's razor, or more precisely, Michelle's double edge.
When you light a fire and you put a piece of paper above the fire, what does the piece of paper do? It goes away from the fire. It doesn't get sucked in.
First of all, we're talking about something a little different than paper, but maybe about something equivalent in density. Put a piece of paper right in front of a giant gas furnace flame, or even a big giant coal bonfire.
Who is telling you this?
The solar, in this case, it would be the convection heat that would push the paper away. However, the truth is, in space, there is no wind, so there can't be convection from the heat. But there is obviously.
Yes, it can. Yes, it can. Michelle, I'm telling you right now, they found clouds on the sun. Did you know that?
Yes, but they're not
pushing those clouds away.
But they're right on the sun.
There's no atmosphere. There's no atmosphere on the sun.
The point.
So it's pushing that stuff away.
No, can I talk for 5 seconds? Thank you. Yes, there is definitely plasma on the sun. Absolutely. Okay. And yes, we do have coronal mass ejections from the sun, the CMEs. Absolutely. But there's no wind in space except the solar wind. What's the solar wind caused by? Photons and other high energy ejecta. Okay? So that is not a very strong force to push something away from the sun. Because the gravitational effect of the sun is going to pull things towards it. Alright? It's got more pull than push.
Black holes pull things towards it, not the sun. The sun is pushing things away. You're going to find out very soon that that's true. And you're not going to thank me, and no one's going to say, Noodles was right. But watch. Michelle. I'm like Nostradamus. I've been telling you guys this for a long time. Every single time I'm right, I never get thanked for it. I never get the recognition I deserve.
Red Foreman, that depends on how close they are to the dying star. Because if they're really close to the dying star, like Mercury is, it's going to become food for the sun in its dying days. Okay. So the inner planets, which includes Earth, Mercury, and I think Venus, are going to probably become food for the sun first. The outer planets like Saturn, Neptune, Uranus are going to be probably around. In fact, maybe they might even be cool enough eventually that new life could form on those planets.
The sun is gigantic. You never see anything hitting the sun, right? Why is that?
You see things hit the sun.
When? When?
Asteroids have hit the sun. We've seen that in the Soho Observatory.
Stop it. Stop it. Says who?
I don't know where. I can't say Noodles is 100% always right. All right, let me ask you about something about technology or the future of technology.
It's nanotechnology. That's the future. Go ahead.
Do you know another piece of what technology that has become obsolete, say about 50 years ago, that might be making a comeback?
Nanotechnology.
No, modern technology. What technology from 60 years ago that everybody declared obsolete?
Pneumatics is coming back.
No, not pneumatics. But they kind of always remain a thing. Analog computers are making a comeback in limited applications.
Yeah, that's analog. I mean, that's pneumatics. Pneumatics work off of analog.
Did you know that the guy who created the op app was actually working for Bell Laboratories, or for working on a form of a technology? He created the vacuum tube op amp, which later became very important for anti-aircraft guns.
Wait, say it again?
Yeah. I said it's the guy who invented the op amp, which is an analog device, which is used in anti-aircraft guns. Worked for AT&T.
Yeah.
He had this dream on a potentiometer circuit.
Well, explain to people what analog and binary is, because people don't really understand what that is when you're talking. Binary is an on-off switch, right? Analog is a value, right?
Analog,
and when you get to a certain value, it trips something.
In other words, it's a waveform that goes like a volume control on your TV. All the way off to full blast, and range is in between.
Yes.
Okay. I'm talking about the good old-fashioned knob you turn, not the kind of buttons you push up and down. All right?
Right.
That's analog. Okay? But the analog computational devices, for example, have been experimented with. What was it actually? Lord Kelvin himself was working on ways to calculate the tides. And he came out with a device that they were using up into the 1960s to calculate tides. And this device was also used during World War II upon the storming of Normandy. It's true fact, guys. Look it up.
Yeah, but Michelle, we have nano robots that can eat and feed themselves and rebuild themselves. Don't you think that's more of a greater form of technology than bringing back analog technology?
No, nanobots is certainly not built upon analog technology. Not entirely, anyway. It's built on a variety of technologies.
Yeah, we have robots that can reproduce themselves that are microscopic.
Yeah, right.
That's the shit.
They talked about that in Futurama, didn't they? Robots.
Yes, because they've been trying to build this for. They've been trying to do this for about 100 years. Now that we know that we can basically turn something on, and that thing can survive based off of intelligence, right? Based off of a want. Now we're talking about,
as long as it has the materials to do it, as long as it has the things it needs, just like human beings do. In its case, it needs energy.
We all have wants.
And it needs raw products to make things.
Yeah, but imagine if you could tell this thing what its wants are. Not its needs, its wants. Like, it doesn't. If you told this thing you don't need to survive, right? But to get what you want, you're going to need to do this, and this. And what if the thing that you want is to kill MicheleMarieDalene. Specifically, MicheleMarieDalene, I can send 1 million nanobots all over the world to search for you. They'll eventually find you and kill you.
Yeah, that's something that the military is working on. As we know, they already got it with
Yeah.
drones, but they want to go further than that.
Think about that. Think about that. And this is how you're going to terraform Mars.
Hi, JoJo.
You
want to come on?
You're going to send all these nanobots up there, and they're going to spend millions of years terraforming Mars for us, based off of their wants, because we told them what their wants are.
Well, man, I want to get JoJo on here. Command V for verbose. Get some more people on the panel to talk about things. Oh, you, Leo. You too. I should have said the same. What's this? Get some people on here. Let's get some people on here. We're going to discuss this. We might as well have people to talk about it. Sure, but they could say the same thing about humans. The robots could say the same thing about humans. You know, give them food, give them minerals, and they're gonna eat. They're gonna excrete, and they're gonna procreate, and they're gonna have babies. You know, but if the supplies are not there, their organizations will collapse. The colonies of the organism will collapse.
Yeah, but with human beings, you have to worry about jealousy and fucking hate and all this stuff. We can just get these.
Hi, JoJo,
hey, JoJo.
how you doing?
Yeah, hi, Noodles. Hi, Michelle. How you doing?
I'm doing right.
Yeah, I was just coming to the conversation about robots. Do you think they'll take over the world then?
I don't think that we will let them take over the world, but I think that we're going to send them out to terraform Mars for us and take care of all these planets for us. I guarantee that's what we're going to do.
Yeah, we probably won't be alive then, but something's going to happen in the future. Definitely.
Yeah, it's the way they're going to have to do it like that. I mean, how you really think? Let's say in 1 million years, you really think that human beings are going to be able to live properly on another planet? No,
Right.
Not at the moment. No.
Yes, typically that's exactly what the original 1977 Battlestar Galactica was talking about with the Cylons. Yeah, exactly. I don't know what
It's
No
like,
Man's Sky
who would
is.
make the robots though? Would human beings make them, or do they come from space? Or
I think that what's going to happen is all we have to do is be like God and give them free will, right? But we're going to tell them, hey, listen, this is what your life's about. Serving us. We all serve God, right?
yeah, well, it's like that film, Artificial Intelligence. That's quite an interesting movie, actually.
We're gonna turn out to be their God, and there's gonna be more of them one day, and they're gonna inhabit the universe. And the idea of something creating them and telling them what to do is going to be a fairy tale to them. But that's what they're going to be. That's what they're going to be doing. Watch.
Weird, man.
The problem is with technology is we have become God, in essence.
Yeah, we're gonna. Yeah.
And I wonder if God feels the same way about us. I mean, my simple little science experiment turned out to be a giant disaster.
Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
I'm just saying, when I was growing up in the 80s, technology was so different. Look how it's advanced. How, in 30 years it's going to be catastrophic,
Yeah, I mean, think about since the 1900s how technology has taken off. From the 1900s to now. I mean, you've never. This is why. Can you imagine? Can you imagine being a like one of those primitive people in the Amazon? They would have no. If you try to explain anything to them now, they're lost. Yeah. They're gone. You can't bring them.
They wouldn't get their head around it. Can you imagine what it's going to be like in 100 years?
No.
I can tell you that there's no doubt that since the 17th century, mankind has seriously began, and with the Age of Enlightenment, the knowledge has exploded after the the fall of Rome
Yeah.
after the Dark Ages. I mean, we're seeing now the sciences, the fundamental sciences that became the building blocks of our modern society. The Industrial Revolution,
Well,
was a
yeah.
major step in the 18th century as well, because then we could make things in mass quantities. And after that, our
I think,
science and our knowledge of chemistry and everything exploded to the point where now mankind's evolution is accelerated. But that makes us more like God, because now we have
it's speeded up. Oh, I get what you're saying. It's kind of speeded up over time, isn't it? It's speeding up all the time.
Yeah, it's speeding up. Evolution, scientific developments are happening much faster and faster now because of our knowledge into these sciences is increasing.
I mean, think about if you fell asleep 20 years ago and you wake up today, and we had to explain everything to you. Your fucking head would spin.
That's what JoJo's trying to say.
You reminded me of that film, Old Boy. Have you ever seen Old Boy, where he gets put in a room for 20 years?
Oh, yeah, with Brandon
Josh
Fraser.
Brolin. Yeah, it's really good. You'll love it. Really, really good.
But my point is that like even us, right, who've been conscious through this whole thing, none of you know how
as
the phone
far
works.
as the manned missions to Mars, I mean, they were going to base an entire television series on a colony on Mars for the 2030s that was a one-stop shop colony. In other words, you lived there forever. So some of it was going to be for reasons of making ratings for TV, but some of that was also to further our science.
It just blows your mind, really, about... I mean, I can see in 100 years there probably will be robots doing your every command.
Let's get you on the panel too.
I think robots are going to be the future slaves. I don't think people are going to work anymore. I think they're going to own a robot. You're going to be responsible for that robot, and the robot's going to produce.
I do agree with that, Noodle. Yeah, I think you're onto something there. Definitely. Oh, what, the original Old Boy? I've never seen that. Oh, nice one. Let's check it out.
There was some Korean Old Boy was better. What's this? Red Foreman says the moon will be a base for basically a training ground for NASA astronauts and Space Force, a better realistic space training experiments. The moon would be the main place to have people on. Yeah, that's possible. But then we also, if the moon already has ETs on the other side of the moon, then we better be able to be friends with them, because otherwise it might be like Space 1999, where someone decides to blow up a nuclear pile and send the moon off into some foreign place somewhere far away, traveling through the solar system with a big nuclear pile thrusting the moon into the outer space, outer cosmos. I mean, but when
Michelle.
What's that?
Oh, sorry, go on. No, I just think back to the past, like Tesla, like they made electricity, and was it William Bell who did the telephone? I mean, that was about 200 years ago. You know? How did they manage that?
Yeah.
All those years ago.
Well, if you think about it, radio waves, when they figured out there was such a thing as radio waves, right? You had to explain to people that there was this invisible thing floating through the frigging the air that you could grab onto and listen to.
Right.
Paul, how you doing?
It's just blows my mind how they did it all those years ago, like Tesla and William Bell with the telephone. I mean, how the hell did he create communication? Phone, telephone, you know? Amazing. It's like wireless radio, isn't it?
Well, obviously it took an Italian to figure it out. As we all know, Italians discovered it.
Well, what Alexander Graham Bell did when he invented the phone was he already knew about
Italian dude. You know that
he already had information on how audio. We're talking about
Michael.
Hi, Paul. How you doing? He already had information about how sound traveled. Okay, So what he ended up doing was saying to himself is there a way I can take sound to modulate electricity that can be transmitted, say, to a reproducer that could play the sound back? And so he created the carbon microphone.
It's like because in England we had pirate radio stations on ships like Princess Caroline and Luxembourg, and that's where all the before Radio 1. That's how we had all the pirate radio stations. Because they were doing it on the sea, basically.
Hey, that was the 1960s.
Yeah, late 50s, early 60s, yeah.
Yeah. And the BBC did a redo of the concept of pirate radio.
Oh, yeah, I'd like to watch that, actually. If anyone's got the link, that'd be really interesting. Kenny Everett, Noel Edmonds, Tony Blackburn, Dave Lee Travis, who was convicted of naughty things. And obviously Jimmy Savile, but we won't go into that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the point I'm trying to say is I know that we had pirate radio stations in the United States and ships too. The problem was if they were outside in the international waters, there was no way America could easily shut them down. The only thing they could do was try to nab the employees if they came
English Channel, so that's how they worked. Yeah, they got the radio waves just right. The pirate radio. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, now thanks to the internet, you can still have pirate radio stations, but you don't actually have to crack open a transmitter. You just stream it out there. People do that every day.
It's really weird you say that, Michelle, because in the 1980s I had do you remember the personal stereos? Like, I had a little yellow one, and I used to pick up on New York radio. Like, I used to click into it. I don't know how I did it, but I did it.
Yeah.
You know, the thing, you were talking about personal robots earlier, Michelle. I 100% believe that's possible. The thing that opened my eyes was watching James Cameron's 1984 movie, The Terminator.
Yeah.
I
And
love that film.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I mean, I'm not going to deny that. I mean, there's definitely military's already designing robots that are killing machines.
Yeah, and now we got these Roombas. You know the Roombas. It's like a personal maid. Runs around your house. It's these things are well on their way.
I was a teenager, but that was in the 1970s. You see, my mum and dad had it, and I was jealous, so I can't get one now.
Wow. The thing is the way I see it. Technology now is at the risk of running away from us. We're the gods that will lose control of our creation.
Yeah.
Really?
Could take over.
That's interesting. Yeah.
An intelligent fleshlight.
Which means we should have a little more empathy for Father Yahweh and Mother Asna, considering the fact that they probably feel the same way, too.
So Fleshlight was so smart, Noodles, and went and let me bust a nut in it. I'm just saying.
Well, I think the biggest problem God is when he said, you have free will. I think that was what was kind of put a real similar wrench into the works.
Yeah. Did God create
will,
man, or did man create God?
And the next thing you know what, they're going to basically be giving you the finger and telling you they don't need you anymore.
That's what they say, Speckles. What was it first, the chicken or the egg?
Right. Oh, it was definitely the egg. I mean,
cat or the speckle. Speckle or cat. Cat or speckle. Speckle or cat.
Lumi or Michelle?
What?
What came first?
The thing is what Michelle's saying is equally true, though. Is the fact is that once we became knowledgeable, we became like God. And the tree of fruit knowledge in the Garden of Eden was that ability that helped open our minds to the ability to know more about the universe. And when God said, you can eat of any tree but that tree, the first question that comes up is, why did he put the tree in there in the first place? Almost like he's saying is, I dare you to eat it.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the thing.
I
I think
don't
he
know.
was trying to tell Adam and Eve, I dare you to eat it.
Well, no,
Here's
the tree
here are
wasn't
the side
poisonous.
effects of it. Here's what you need to know about it. But I dare
Well,
you to eat it. And the thing
yeah,
is,
see,
they didn't
I hate when
until...
people talk like that because Michelle, you're forgetting the point of creating humans. He wanted to create a human being that wasn't a robot. He didn't create these human beings with all knowledge.
Well, just remember what George Burns said, no, God, you try to make a fish from scratch. The fact of the matter is, what God was creating with us, he was creating his automatons. All right? If you think about it that way, he was creating living, breathing organisms. All right? Today, we do that in labs every day, in Petri dishes. So, like I said, it's like a high school chemistry experiment that's gone awry. That's pretty much what happened.
Yeah, I remember those Petri dishes. But like, I love history. I love all that. But I just think about my family and myself. What we're doing right now. But I still love history. I still love it. It's fascinating. You know.
I love
I just don't
history.
think we'll ever
History
figure
is
it
part
out.
of my life, along with architecture. So for me, you know, it's something I study. I study sociology, anthropology,
Nice.
historical technology. I study all that stuff because I like that. Plus architecture. But what I'm trying to say is, maybe it's the same thing with God. Maybe God created the first human thing out there. I prove I made it. I made it versus Adam and Eve, but I gave them a twist. I gave them free will, and I told them that they got an escape clause, which is either the tree of knowledge and you will die. And so, of course, it's almost
it's
like
not
he
that they
said,
would
"I'm
die.
expecting that
I
they're going to
mean,
eat that tree."
no, I can't get into it.
Because of free
Michelle,
will, he
That's
gave
too
them
deep,
the
really.
ability to do just that. If he really didn't want them to die, he would never have told them, "Eat of the tree of knowledge, you will die." No,
Well,
he didn't.
he gave him the choice, Michelle. That's the point. It's not that he wanted them dead. It's
Exactly.
that
He
he
gave
gave
them
them
a
the choice to
choice.
make their own mind up,
And
and
they,
they were tempted by Satan.
yeah,
I mean, it's
the
not
Satan
that. Right.
basically said, lied and said, "You will not die." Well,
Right.
Michelle, God knew that there was a potential. All right. He didn't want to create robots. He knew that if they did that they would suffer from it. But God's going to resurrect everybody. God knew that after all this was done, he was going to resurrect everyone so they could say, "Hey, listen, I told you." There's going to be no doubt in your mind when you're resurrected.
right. Well, we all know that the rapture is coming, right? You all know it's coming. The end of the final call will be done, and then everybody will be gathered together. The
Except for Bird.
144,000 of
Hopefully Bird
God's
isn't
most
there.
chosen will become the elected officials of heaven. The rest of us will remain on the new earth. And we're going to go ahead and clean out the old garbage and the crap from the past that messed up everything.
Yeah, but that's what vultures are very misunderstood. I went to a local place called Longley, and I had a vulture fly over my head. They get rid of all the crap on Earth. They're eco-warriors. They're misunderstood. Vultures. That's what I'm going to say.
Yeah. You know, vultures are important. They're the garbage collectors of the natural world.
They can handle all the dead shit on the Earth. I made a joke yesterday in the live stream. I said, "Oh, we'll take
Same thing with
away
the
all
Dung
my
Beetles.
exes." And this bloke got butter at me.
What do you think all
"What are
the...
you saying that for?"
Think about all the animals that poop in the forest. What happens to all the dung? The dung beetles get involved and they break it down into the basic components and they use it for their own uses.
I'm sure I told Noodles. I mean, I love elephants. They eat all the trees and then they poop it and then they make new trees. So they're eco-warriors, you know?
Right. Right. And also the dung beetles take the elephant dung and they again also break it down into its basic components.
Break it down and like make new land.
Same thing with the other animal dung. Deer scat, for example, you know, cat scat, dog scat, people scat. You got now in house, the dung beetles are probably not too far away. You know, taking people's scat, breaking it down into
you imagine
nutrients
seeing
and
Michelle
anything that was
taking a
in there
shit in
that
the
was
woods?
never digested, like corn kernels, are going to be planted. And that's how early maize was spread. Maize,
Seen Lumi do it once.
M-A-I-Z-E, maize was spread just like that because the ancient Aboriginal people of Mexico were eating maize, which is wild corn. Well, obviously, it doesn't get digested by the system, goes through the large intestine, and just comes out the other end. And then sometimes they were seeing that it was growing where someone had been pooping for a while. So there you go. Well, as I said, the dung beetles are basically the poop collectors and recyclers, and break it down into something that can be processed in the earth to make topsoil. Very interesting little creatures, really important to the system. Very important to the system. But now you got plastics, and you got chemicals, and you got artificial stuff that they can't break down. Because unfortunately, human beings keep saying we want to make stuff that's permanent. All of a sudden, now we got the big garbage patch in the Pacific Ocean that they're trying to dredge out. Of all the plastic crap that human beings have created.
Oh, that reminds me of I love turtles, and when they go in the sea, they get incarcerated by those bloody plastic bear can things. Oh, I hate that.
I want to point out that garbage island that's floating out there, 98% of it comes from non-white countries.
I don't care what color country you come from. It shouldn't even be out there. It shouldn't even be out there. That's what I'm trying to say. I don't care what. I don't care what color your country is.
That's a good point.
I don't care if your country is green. And if it's green, you have a better reason not to be throwing plastic garbage out in the sea. Okay, but the point is that it's out there. Animals are getting stuck in it, choking on it, dying from it.
Yeah,
same thing with
microbeads.
Microbeads are showing up in our food. You know, from fish that's smelling and swelling microbeads, now that stuff's in our food and we eat it. That stuff is just out there. It's the same thing with the BPA. BPA is the biphenyls, which is used as an elasticizer in plastic. It has a habit of actually shutting down the androgen endocrine cycle. That's basically like that, just like Alex Jones says, is making the frogs gay. Literally making fish gay. Because it shuts down the masculine production of testosterone or androgens. Now, I wonder if there's a chemical that turns girls into boys.
Michelle, do you think there are transgender frogs?
Probably. I mean, who knows? I mean, we have frogs, that male frogs, they're acting like female frogs, and they're expecting a male frog to mount them. What does that mean? Oh, just like it says. There are intersex frogs too, where in fish,
frogs.
For example, where the testicles have been proven to be trying to produce egg proteins because of BPAs. Okay, how come we don't seem to talk about that?
I thought that was happening to me before, Michelle. Like every time I would pee, a whole bunch of blood would come out, and I thought I was having like my period or something, but it just turns out that, you know, it's from when my buddy hit me really hard in my kidneys.
Ooh.
Made me like piss blood for a week, but I kind of thought I was having like a
period or
something, you know?
Yeah, I know, Deborah, you're right. Some people just throw the garbage everywhere.
No.
Yeah.
Michelle, do you get a period?
Not really, and not the physical part of it, but I get the emotional part of it.
Yeah, it's more like an exclamation point.
That's a very personal question, that.
And Michelle gets question marks. She don't get periods.
I just answered your question.
I'm nearly 50 in March, so I've had my 2 sons. They're all grown up, so I don't get them anymore.
Even though maybe hard to believe, I do get the COVID, the PMS, though, yeah. All right,
I'm
so
sure you guys don't miss those periods when you stop getting to know. You got to be kind of happy about that.
No, I don't.
No. They complain about it. They complain about everything.
no, because your hormones are all messed up at that time, and it sucks. Trust me, it's not
No, George,
something that.
come on. Like,
That's why you don't
I'm
want
a
it.
good woman. You know I'm a good woman. I have a bit of a mind, but I'm not a feminist. Fuck that.
Yeah. Well, like Daddy Danino used to say, never trust anything that bleeds for 5 days and don't die. So, just take that in mind.
Oh, Speckle, how dare you?
My dad said that, not me. I'm just taking on Dad's advice. It's not me. It's not coming from me. It's coming from Dad.
Your dad is a big cunt.
Just like you never play cards with someone who has the first name of a state or a city. Never trust anyone who pours their milk before their cereal. These are just things you live by.
I'm well off then. Oh, you let me off straight away. That's why you like me.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is, my left leg hip is sore today. Ow.
Should we call the soup kitchen, see what they're serving up there?
If you want to.
Sure. Everybody seems to.
But sooner or later, George is going to want to know who you are, or sooner or later.
He's just concerned. He ain't going to question. Michelle, I call with a different voice every day. Yesterday I was an old lady. Before I was an Arabic man.
You don't have to do that. I mean, really. First of all, I think George would understand if you're asking that question, but I don't. Maybe you could just let him know that you're letting him know because you let people know Michelle's show to come and get lunch because that's exactly what you're doing.
Can do that. If it ever comes up, Michelle, I'll definitely tell him. But for now, it's gonna be random people calling the soup kitchen. It's fine.
Yeah.
They don't mind. That's what they're there for. They're there for help the people out.
Yeah, it is what it is. Yeah, I volunteered in the soup kitchen. I used to go in there and get food as well. Amazing.
Can you place an order there?
No, I sat in there. Then I started working in there.
I think you just pick up. I don't know if you could place an order, but I think you just go there and pick up. You celebrating the Christmas season, Jojo? You gonna be doing anything for Christmas?
Yeah, but I do it every year with my boys. I mean, they're grown now, but
yeah, of course,
my
it's still nice.
Got his stuff. My eldest, I know what got him. He's got it already, but he hasn't got it. Okay. What about you? Are you all ready?
Oh, we're gonna gather up with the family. I think tomorrow. I'm pretty sure Noodles will probably be doing something, with his family as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, my dad.
Yeah, I'm gonna gather up with them tomorrow, Christmas Eve. Should be nice.
When my sons were little, I did everything, like tightly laid it on the board.
Oh,
but
yeah.
They know what they're getting now. My youngest son is nearly 18, and he knows what he's getting, but I've laid it out, so,
Yeah, for sure. It's nice just to get together and, gather up with the family, have a nice meal.
Yeah, exactly. What about you, Michelle? Are you staying at home?
Yeah, I'm staying.
Yeah, you, Michelle.
Yeah,
you're making a chicken dinner, right, Michelle, for Christmas?
Yeah, I
that'll be really nice.
Still has that on his list because it's still sitting in the refrigerator. Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you gonna go live? Are you gonna go live Christmas Day, Michelle, or give it a break for the day? Or?
Not tomorrow. I mean, on Discord we might be live. We might have some Christmas movies on. I was thinking about just turning on.
Yeah,
I think I was just planning on turning on Tubi or Pluto and just carry shows and put them on the general chat on Discord so people can still talk and watch the TV at the same time.
Yeah. Michelle will have her morning show on Saturday for Christmas morning, and she's gonna do a Christmas party.
That was the goal.
Saturday night. Right, Michelle?
I still got about. I don't quite have a half a bottle of wine left, but I got enough there to drink something. So,
yeah, we'll get you a better bottle for New Year's Eve, Michelle. I mean, Boone's Farm is nice. I don't know why that person talked you into getting the Boone's Farm, but we'll get you a good bottle of wine for New Year's Eve, Michelle. We'll do it up right New Year's Eve.
Actually, I like that. I like the Boone's Farm wine. It actually tastes just about right for me. It's not too. I mean, it's 3.9% alcohol by volume, but it's not like so super strong. They're too
Why don't you
dry.
put- why don't you put kind of with soda?
Bloody hell, throw that in the bin. So,
Oh, that'd be terrible.
Put it with
Carmen
that on,
soda?
Michelle.
that sounds nice with like a nice dinner, like a nice roast dinner. Actually.
I mean,
Is it red or white?
well, like I said, I don't usually get into the alcohol anyway.
Right.
But
Well, we should have got you a good bottle.
anyway, so we're gonna get snow. How is the weather gonna be right now in the UK where you were, Jojo, for this weekend?
I'm just looking now. Actually, it is 11 degrees Celsius right at the moment.
Oh, that sounds nice. It's warm. It's warming up there. 11 degrees Celsius.
Well, yeah, I've had my heating on low most of the day, but it's keeping me. But I've still got my fleece on. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. What about you guys?
Right now it's about, I think, about 3 degrees right now. Oh, that's wrong column.
Wow.
It's
It's
if
not
we're
really
going
that.
by Celsius, Jojo, it's probably about a -1 here, -2 if we're going by the
Oh,
Celsius.
you're freezing then.
No, it's
29
not.
degrees American. 29 degrees.
11 degrees
Celsius.
Celsius is like 52 degrees for them.
Yeah,
I'm
it
staying
sounds
corrected.
nice.
It's minus
Yeah,
3 degrees
nice.
Celsius right now.
Yeah, it's 29
Minus
degrees
3
where I'm
degrees
at.
Celsius
So.
we go by, not Fahrenheit. What about you, Noodles? Is it warm, cold?
No, it's cold out. I don't know what the fuck it is, but
Yeah.
you know the brother from Home Alone
Yep.
just was arrested for trying to strangle his girlfriend.
Buzz?
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, of course, he sees these movies coming out here. He's probably sitting there having a couple glasses of wine, like, barely we're in this motherfucker. Like, and he probably
Yeah,
got
he's
really
probably
mad.
thinking, why didn't I get famous? Why didn't I get famous? And then he just
Exactly. I should have been home alone. Not goddamn Kevin McCall. Yeah, exactly.
Oh, well, yeah. I remember him, Kim McAllister, was
There's some good
arrested
movies in
for
the shop.
attempting to strangle his girlfriend. Yes, I did see that in Fox
Yeah,
News.
man. Well, it's all right.
Tis the
Bloody hell.
season.
So
Yeah.
now he's going to be home
bad.
alone, all right, in the big house. If he's
They have
convicted.
Bubba out with him. He won't be home alone. Who should he be?
Michelle, did you know that there's more airplanes in the ocean than submarines in the sky?
But
Yeah.
don't go in the
Planes have
car,
down.
Noodles.
Planes have fallen down, yeah.
Yeah.
Accidents, yeah. Did they ever find MH370? People keep asking me that. I still don't have any information if they ever found the complete plane MH370. The Malaysian Airlines plane that went down.
I'm sure they
Oh, God,
pulverized
yeah,
that.
that's about 5 years ago, wasn't
Yes,
it?
the tarot cards were
whatever
this
happened?
so.
Yeah,
whatever happened
about
to
5
that?
years ago, yeah. They never found anything except maybe one tiny piece of the plane. That's all they found.
So dodgy about that, sorry. Yeah. No bodies, no luggage.
I think they went through a wormhole. That's what I think. I think they went through a wormhole to another dimensional plane.
No, that's like the Langley's that like Stephen King wrote. Like, that's all science fiction to me.
So what do you think of the Bermuda Triangle? Like a lot of ships and stuff go sailing over
Except
there.
it wasn't in the
here.
Bermuda Triangle, and
Yeah,
it wasn't near the
it wasn't in
Devil's
the
Triangle
World
in
War,
Japan
yeah.
either.
They say it's a magnet, like magnetic latitude or something like that.
Like people sail there and they disappear, you know?
Well, it happened to like Spitfires from England, like they just got lost in
Yeah.
the Bermuda Triangle.
Bermuda
They
Triangle.
wrote a
Yeah.
song about it, didn't they? Bermuda Triangle, where people disappear.
Yeah, it's weird.
I checked in the MH370. I didn't see any updated news on that. I was like, wow. I mean, all those search parties they sent out, and they still can't find the damn plane. They only found a tiny piece of the plane. They couldn't find anything more.
I'm sorry, but
The
I'm
situation
not
with
a
the
massive conspiracy theorist, but there's something in that. There's got to be something dodgy about that, because you'd find a scrap of sock or metal or, you know what I mean? You know what I mean?
Yeah, but they never found anything else, though.
Exactly. I'm saying.
So, and the abrupt cutoff of communications indicates that they end up going out of radio range. Well, obviously, if they go into the wormhole, they wouldn't be within our radio range. What's
a wormhole? Is that a real thing, or is that just a conspiracy theory?
I think wormholes could be very well be real. Isaac Newton even, Albert Einstein even proposed the existence of wormholes.
Yeah, sounds. Yeah, but how much of a coincidence would that be if it went into a wormhole if it's real? You know, it's just very, very odd. That's all I'm going to say.
We also have existence of ghost ships.
Oh yeah, I've heard it though. Yeah.
And how did they find a modern digital watch in the tomb of an emperor of China that had not been opened ever before?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh.
So how did that happen? How did the person making the tomb lose their watch and have it end up in the tomb of the emperor? And the watch, as far as I know, the battery on it was still good. No, it wasn't. It was dead. It was dead.
I don't think Michelle, I don't think we'll ever find the answer. It's like Davy Jones's locker, isn't it? It's like one of those myths. Is it real? Is it a myth? Is Jesus a myth? You know? All those kind of things.
Who knows? That's just it. I'm trying to say there's a lot of things we don't know and a lot of questions that will continue to be asked.
Yeah.
You know.
Definitely.
And since nobody really knows the story of any of this, people were asking the questions, why, what, and how. Well,
yeah.
I'm sure some scientists, I'm sure a new young Stephen Hawking will come out there and go, with a theory that's going to prove how it all works. Just as he did when he was in the chair at Cambridge. Somebody's going to go out there, somebody's going to come up with the research and the proof that it's possible to make wormholes by man. I mean, the L Hadron Super Collider made a wormhole, very tiny one, but still not big enough to send the whole plane through.
I've got to say goodbye. I'm so sorry. I've got a phone call coming in, and I'm a little worried if I don't answer. No, I'm sure I'll see you tomorrow. But happy Christmas, Speckles, Michelle, right. Noodles. Love you all.
Take care.
Keep your ears open on Discord for a Saturday night Friday night special. Probably put something on from Tubi or Crackle and just put it in the general chat so everybody can join and watch together. All right. So, still, that's a good question. What if indeed the plane did go through a wormhole and went into another dimensional plane? How can we not prove it? How can we prove it? So, that's really not a bad question to ask, guys.
I'm just trying to hold in some poop right now. I think a big poop.
Go use the toilet and come back when you're done, Noodles. Okay? That's really bad for your large intestinal tract to do that.
What's he doing, Michelle? What's Noodles doing? Holding his poop in?
He said he has to use the toilet. Go use it.
Yeah. We can still talk to him. I want to hear Noodles pushing.
I'm not going to talk to him when he's making noises.
Michelle, what do you got up for the day? What are you doing today, Michelle? You got up for the day?
Well, let's see. I gotta finish organizing the hard drive, cleaning out all the junk out of the hard drive, defrag the hard drive, organize all the files in my hard drives.
Oh, so you're doing some computer maintenance today?
Yeah.
You gonna defrag the computer?
I
Get her
started
going a
that.
bit.
I started it last night after the show. The
Okay.
main hard drive, the files were fragged all over the place, pretty bad.
Okay.
There was only one hard drive. Then I got to do 4 others. So
4 others. Wow. You're gonna be busy.
we're still going to saving up for the video card. You already know that, so that's not too much to talk. So just doing everyday maintenance right now.
Okay. Sounds good. I
Speaking
gotta
of
do the
people,
same.
Peace, does anybody know what he's up to these days?
Who?
Yeah, I haven't seen him around here.
Who?
That's because he's still blocked.
Who? Martin?
Yeah.
Yeah. Why don't you free Martin, Michelle? We should have Martin on the show again sometime. You know.
Yeah, but he's still
Maybe-
repetitive, the same old thing.
Maybe do a tarot reading on Martin. You know, we could do a tarot reading on him sometime.
Well, so we can't. He's not here right now.
With him present, you know. I mean, it would be good. Maybe good with him present, you know, is what I'm saying. You know, we don't want to, you know, get his energies while he's here. Yeah, you should consider maybe letting him free again and see if he comes back. You know,
I
see
still
what he's got to say.
I gotta still go back to the Sun Crown and try to defeat that monster again.
Yeah, spider.
Yeah. You would think by now I would have figured out the best way to defeat him. Trying to get better weapons and gear. I mean, I came close to knocking him quite a bit down last time. But he killed me before I could finish knocking him down. You know, throwing ice nova at him and everything. I'm still gonna find the right spell that's gonna give me the ability to do the most amount of damage. But I gotta find one that's also not gonna take all my mana at the same time. So I feel bad for Tendiera, which is MicheleMarie on the World War Horde side, because she has to worry about mana management, whereas Felenia can go out there and it's almost like she has unlimited supply and she can always just slam people over and over again. You don't start running out of mana until you start getting to higher levels, and then you gotta watch out. You know, it's like when you're in the middle. It's like when you're starting out, and someone like gives you free boxes of bullets, and then when you get to be a good hunter, all of a sudden they say, "Well, now you gotta start buying your bullets." I was kind of feeling with the situation with mana. So before you had to do mana management from day one. Cadieris, MicheleMarie, we're always running into the issue of mana management. I was like, oh my god, Cadieris is like, she runs right out after killing a couple hogs and things like that, and then she has to go out there and refresh her mana supply with eating and drinking, and so she had to make sure she had food on hand at all times. So, what, Red? Well, anyway, so
doctors say that you're not supposed to sit more than 15 minutes on a toilet. Like it can actually
Adam.
hurt your anus. But I wonder how long you should have gay sex for.
I think a squat toilet's better because it's a more direct route straight down for the poo. So
It's gonna be like Joe Biden and shit my pants and let it fall out wherever and let the Dung Beetles have at it.
So what I like to see for 2022 is I like to see Joe Biden retired. That's the Christmas present I want to see. I want to see him hang it up, resign, and be done with it.
Yeah. Speaking of poop, I gotta go get my coffee. I'll be right back.
Oh, that's what I should have made. I should have made coffee.
Yeah, I'll get you going. Get you going in the morning.
I made 2 bagels for breakfast.
Fuck yeah. Sounds good.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Michelle, what's up with the maple syrup shortage in Canada? You know what's up with that?
Probably related to everything else that's causing food shortage. It's probably just the issue of getting the stuff from, in this case, from the sap trees to the maple syrup production facilities to the markets. Shipping, and more shipping. Typically says, I'm a good human, I'm a good hunter, and I haven't had to buy ammo for my 3006 for like 8 years. I get a deer every year. 1 shot, 1 kill. The better hunter you are, the less ammo you need. Right. Yeah.
What about your derriere, Michelle?
In the case of Catayaris, it's the same way, right? She's got
Derriere.
so much mana, so she can't go out there and think she can just spray her assailant with magic spells. Where Valenia can go ahead and keep pooping them out fast and hard. You know. But once you get to be level Bicala, especially against some of the really top heavies, then you gotta really watch your mana because you're gonna basically wear yourself out. I mean, poor Bicala's a shadow priest, for God's sakes. I mean, there's only so much you can do, you know.
Yep.
But if she does a raid, she heals herself, resurrects, and keeps pumping out pain and shadow blasts and void eruptions and stuff like that, and it really kind of, you know, does make a difference in knocking down your enemy, but it takes a lot of time and energy to do it. Speaking of pop, I think, since some people have actually asked when am I going to have him back on the show again, I don't think he's blocked, at least not on the People of Peace account.
Let's check the block list, Michelle. Let's see who's blocked on the block list.
Well, I'm going to look. Just give me a second here.
Let's just clear that block list out.
Well, we got a lot of Russian people in here.
Oh, yeah, the Russian people. That's right. That Pancakes guy, or whatever his name is. Whatever the retard's name is.
So, but they're not actually likely to do anything. Nah. So, let's just take them out of here.
A bunch of nignogs, Michelle.
You ever drink nignog? I mean,
I've had eggnog, but not nignog. Michelle, you like eggnog? I think I asked you that the other day. Never mind.
Of course, he'll also own Black Andress too, because.
No, leave him black. So Andrew's a fucking faggot.
You say clear out the list.
Yeah, that's true. He comes back in here, and we'll just put him back on. Yeah, let's clear it out, Michelle. You're right, Michelle. 100%. You're right. I did say clear out the list. Let's clear it out. 2022, new start for everybody. I know Noodles and myself have been on that block list quite a few times, but we're here. You know, so it's a new beginning for everybody.
At one point, we were up to 1,133. We're back to 1,124.
Michelle, you're still doing fine. You know, you're well over 1,000.
Yeah, I know that.
You're doing great. You're doing great. Michelle only got like 428 subs, but I don't even try YouTube, so you know. Yeah, you're doing great, Michelle. Keep it up.
Don't forget, once you get your 500, you get your community tab now.
Ooh, I'm getting close. Michelle, let's get you up to 2,000 for 2022. Let's see if we can get you up to 2K subs, Michelle.
Possibly.
Yeah, you're doing good. You're kicking ass, Michelle. Got monetized.
If you want to get to 2K, Michelle, you got to start having special guests on.
Yeah.
Well, right now I'm hoping one day I can go do a collaboration with another channel. I don't know.
Yeah, he's still talking with Rosie O'Kelly.
Yeah, I still talk to her once in a while.
Yeah, it would be fun to have. We gotta. Yeah, I liked when you did Shoe Nice content, Michelle. When you were doing content with Shoe Nice, that was pretty cool.
Pansy also had been on the show a few times, so maybe Pansy will be back on again.
We'll see what we can get you for 2022, Michelle. See what we can do here. We're gonna have to get you out there a bit more, Michelle. Get you into some streams. Let people know who you are. I actually had a buddy of mine, Michelle, who wants to do a stream. Wants to do a MicheleMarieDalene stream and asked me if I would help him out with that. Maybe we could get you on there and you could talk to everybody a little bit. Get some new.
Well, I
new
still would
viewers.
like to get into one of the other channels to do a collaborative video. That would be more fun, I think, because we can plan things ahead of time. You know,
Yeah.
maybe
You mean, like, meet up?
Adrian's Digital Basement, maybe a V Westlife, maybe a few of the other tech channels that would be willing to take me on as a collaborative, work on a project together. I wouldn't mind getting involved with the next VidCon festival, whenever that's going to be. When the next VidCon's going to be. Does anyone know when that's going to be?
Yeah. Michelle, what do you think your channel is?
What?
Like,
So
if you were
what do
going
you
to
think my
describe your channel to
is?
someone.
Noodles is saying, Michelle.
I would say it's a little bit of everything. But mostly it's a talk show, but also we cover some science stuff too. And
All right, then you got to reach out to those people, Michelle. You can't be.
I wonder
Can't be
what
just
I
sitting here
do.
doing
I
nothing.
watch their videos. I comment on their videos all the time. Like Shango066. I always comment on his videos on the part, especially if it's something like Life with Big Clive. Same thing with them. These are bigger channels, but I do watch them. I do comment with them.
No, Michelle, you have to go in there and you have to say, "Listen, I have a channel. I want to participate with you. I want you to come on my show. If not, can I come on yours?"
I was told that you're not allowed to be on YouTube anymore.
Who, me?
Yeah, you. That's what I've heard.
I can do whatever I want. Who the fuck's gonna stop me? YouTube?
He's on YouTube right now, Michelle, with you and myself.
Do you actually stream on Twitch now?
No, I stream on YouTube.
Oh, okay. I know Alex Jones is not allowed on YouTube anymore.
Alex Jones can do whatever he wants. Alex Jones just doesn't want to get sued.
I mean, we all have the free will to do, basically whatever we want. I mean, no one can necessarily tell us not to do or to do anything, I mean.
Trust me. Alex Jones has got the money. He's already got his own fleet of lawyers. He already knows what to do on YouTube and lawsuits. He's not afraid of that. Trust me.
I don't know about that. He lost a lot of money. He got sued for a lot of money, that guy.
Yeah, he also makes a lot of money on the Infowars.com store.
Yeah.
After all, someone's buying his water filters. Someone's buying his health supplements.
Michelle, how much money did you make last month?
How much money I made last month? $155.21.
All right, I made $1,000 off YouTube last month. I'm not supposed to be here. All right. So don't listen to people. Don't listen to people that tell you can't do this, you can't do that. I'm telling you right now. I made $1,000.
Most of my money I made, by the way, was mostly donations. So, because the advertising revenue isn't really that great.
Step up that content, Michelle. Get that night going on. Do a show. Do a night show in your nightie, Michelle. You get a lot of donations. You get a lot of donations. I'm telling you.
Yeah, the Christmas show we made, the early Christmas party, we made a lot of donations until Ed basically got mad and started screaming at everybody.
Yeah, he fucked that up. He did. That's all right though, Michelle.
This year I got some Christmas presents. Blazing Leo sent me something. I don't know when she said to me, and Wednesday should be here in 2 days.
Oh yeah.
It'll be Christmas Eve, so I'll have to check the mail, see what comes.
That's good. I got a nice pile going under my tree. I'm waiting to open up.
Yeah. So for right now, as far as video cards go, we are at we come up with two different video cards. The 7950 and the 7970. The 7970 is a little more powerful than the 7950. The card I have now is configured as a 7950 as far as the Apple driver is concerned. But I'm going to go and get the 7970 Apple card and put that in, even though it uses more power. It'll be nice to actually be able to see the boot screen and catch any bugs, flaws, errors. But at $336, it's also going to be expensive as hell. But you try to find something that's not too expensive, and well, that's what you get stuck with. So the 7970 is a bit faster than the 7950, but oh well. Price difference is not that much between the two. So the 7970 is faster, but uses 250 watts TDP, whereas the 7950 uses, I think they said, about 70 watts power TDP. I don't know. But overclock it, baby, and let's go for the fastest, highest FPS we can for playing World of Warcraft. The problem is that when I'm playing World of Warcraft, we have to basically re-render the screen smaller than the full 720p because of space, or the lack of it on the screen, because I only got so much real estate to hold the chat and everything. So the question is would it be better to shrink the screen further, smaller, so we can see more of the... I'm not sure. Lower the resolution of the game a bit just so I can get more on the screen between the chat, the status recording, the live streaming tools, all that. A lot of stuff. A lot of stuff to do in that area. Right now the chat's being pretty quiet. We need to get people to buy Snow Queen merchandise. The store, I gotta upgrade the store. For $12 a month, I can upgrade the store and still start selling more things like towels and blankets and comforters. And maybe I can have multiple kinds of cups. Maybe I can have a rusty cup. Everybody asks me about a rusty cup.
You need a North American Snow Queen snow shovel.
Yeah, I can probably get that made. I know some people talk about Teespring, which is just as much the same as with the Streamlabs store, but it doesn't seem to have quite as many things. And also, maybe I can get in contact with a PC board manufacturer like PCBWay and design a simple LED project that someone can put together that says NASQ or something. That sounds relatively easy enough to do. Yeah. I mean, why not? A simple little project that says NASQ, maybe in cursive or script of some sort. Yeah. All the customer has to do is they just have to solder all the LEDs into it and power it up. Boom. Then they got a little blue LED display that says NASQ on their desk. Maybe make a plastic housing for it.
Michelle, you got to give away something, and you got to give it away to someone that's going to promote it. So, for instance,
I didn't say I was going to.
And I should win.
Well, she has done that, Noodles, actually, to be fair to Michelle. She did a raffle for some elf ears, used elf ears.
And I
while
get some
back.
people some new elf ears. For example, Metal Kitty got the new ones because the used ones never arrived.
Yeah. So
Yeah, but I'm gonna be honest with you.
And
Who the
Kenny
hell's gonna
Cruz,
wear
you
them?
got the new elf ears too, and but he doesn't wear the new elf ears because he doesn't have the glue for them. And I told him where to buy the
Yeah,
glue,
but
and he
Michelle-
was like, "Doesn't bother." So
Michelle, you gotta like make like, do you have coffee mugs?
everybody wants rusty coffee mugs. I have a North American Snowy coffee mug already.
All right, does it have your face on it?
No, it's just got my logo on it.
Then it's stupid. I don't care about your fucking logo. People are going to come over and they're going to say they're not even going to ask who Snow Queen is. But if they see her face on a coffee mug, people are going to be, who the fuck is that?
Well,
I would definitely drink my coffee out of a
but right
Michelle
now
coffee mug.
we didn't have enough room to do all that. Okay, I mean we had to do.
All right, but what I'm telling you is if you do that, right? You do a fake raffle, I win. You send me the mug, and every day on my live stream, I say, "Oh my god, this coffee's great, and it's better drinking out of this fucking MicheleMarieDalene mug that you can get at MicheleMarieDalane's store."
Have you ever been to the store? I know right now it's pretty limited. It's only 3 items. But have you been to the store yet?
No, I'm never buying anything from you. You should be giving me free shit.
No, I'm not
Yeah, I
giving
feel
away
like I
free
should-
shit. You gotta buy that. But then we got
I feel I should
hoodie,
have a hoodie,
we got
Michelle.
we got a
Entitled to a
shirt, we got a coffee mug. Likewise,
Yeah, you have hoodies?
if you become a VIP patron on Patreon, you could actually win a mug that says Silvermoon Radio on it.
Yeah, but I don't want that. I want a picture of you on it. I want a hoodie with a picture of you on it.
Okay, you
You
want that?
understand what I'm saying? Like, no offense, but like, I don't care. Like, I'm dyslexic, Michelle. All right. I hate having to read stuff. I want to be able to see your face on a fucking hoodie or on a cup and be like, that's MicheleMarieDalene.
I'll have to look into it. Yeah. Okay. What else?
Yeah, pillowcase.
Like sleep on first thing you see
Yeah.
when you wake up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe like a body pillow, Michelle? Or a sex doll?
Look, guys, all I know is the store can sell more stuff if I decide to expand the store on Streamlabs. And I'm planning to.
Okay.
Michelle, please put your face on something, please.
Like a MicheleMarieDalene dartboard?
Sure. If I can find a nice picture of me that
Or like
doesn't
a
look
toilet,
like something out of
seat? Toilet cover?
that doesn't look like death warmed over. Yeah.
Or a diamond painting, a MicheleMarieDalene diamond painting.
Oh, maybe we can put Tanira on something.
Maybe Snow Queen
she's supposed to
contraceptive?
be she's supposed to be me and Burning Crusade Classic anyway. Yeah, so I got a book I'm working on, and right now I'm writing a chapter where the Silvermoon's being invaded by the Scourge and the Imani trolls right now. And Sergeant Dixon just sent Michelle and Valenia, her girlfriend / fiance, out on the mission. There's a mining camps to scout what's going on, so we're gonna see what they're gonna do with that one. Both are mages. Really, they should have a priest with them too, but they don't have a priest, so they won't be able to resurrect each other. That's just it. But both of them, being mages, are full aware of the responsibilities.
Michelle, you know how you want to do videos? Why don't you do like interview videos on the street, like interview people?
I already told you I was planning to do that. But with the
I didn't know that.
COVID-19, nobody wants to be interviewed by anybody.
Yeah, I think that would be funny as hell. If I saw you coming, right, with a mask on and a fucking microphone, I'd be like, what the fuck? I think that would be funny as hell.
Gianni, if you send me Dunkin' Donuts card, I live right next to Dunkin' Donuts. It's right next to McDonald's. So maybe me and Chris can go get some Dunkin' Donuts and coffee together. There you go. Yeah, instead of going for McDonald's for breakfast, we can go to Dunkin' Donuts for coffee and say have a dozen or a dozen donuts. Ugh. Yeah. Oh, what's what time is it now? It's 11:41.
Boys want to go outside?
By the way, Noodles, Mr. Bumpy in my army is going away slowly. Thank God.
Oh, really? What did you do?
The one
What did you do?
Talked about, hey, look at that bruise on that elbow. Slowly fading away. Very slowly. But it's slowly coming down.
That's good.
Yeah. And that's not...
Was it causing you pain, Michelle?
What's important things? What's one of those important things?
That's us. Get in the back.
Never mind. Yeah, I would. In fact, I buy her breakfast every week. I mean, every month I buy her breakfast, so I treat her every month, and sometimes we go shopping together. Oh, don't forget this week you gotta wash laundry. Oh, God. Oh, Sunday's a good day to wash laundry. Yeah, it's the only day of the week I have off until Silvermoon Radio at 7 o'clock on Sunday night.
What do you do on Silvermoon Radio?
It's a radio show. It's a radio music program. I DJ it.
Oh, really?
Well, it's kind of mostly semi-automatic because then Michelle just puts a little stack of records on the turntable and it just automatically switches between records. Pretty much, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Do you take requests?
Mm-mm.
Not really, but I do. I could on the MP3 section of the show, like last night. I mean, last Saturday we had to play some MP3s to fill in the time of some dead air we had. Mostly we play vinyls, but yeah. Anyway.
Well, I'm gonna be honest with you. That kind of sounds boring.
So the question I want to know is just how messy is Mr. HD? It's not that bad now because I worked a lot of the defragging out last night, but last night it was all red except for the very beginning of the hard drive, which I didn't defrag it for a couple weeks, so a lot of files are scattered all over it. That was why the games were running slower last night because there was so many things going on in the background.
Michelle, did you know that Michelle K got her fur coat?
Yeah. She also got a new little kitten too.
Yeah. Yeah.
She deserves it.
Yeah. It's a little girl kitty. It looked a little bit like my cat Fame before he passed away. But Fame was long hair. This cat apparently is like a shorter hair cat. Hi, Devia. How you doing? We're doing fine. We gotta get more people to come on the morning shows. We gotta get more people to come on the morning shows. We gotta increase the morning viewership up.
You know how you do that, Michelle?
They did what we did this morning. We talked about other stuff. That's what.
No. You know how you do that? You start bringing new people in, Michelle. I told you, you got to get people. You got to start, getting people up, introducing people, stuff like that. Let Schmeckel help you.
Yeah. Well, we're doing that.
No, you're not. When have you done that?
Michelle, don't forget too, it is the holiday season, so people are probably good traveling to their families and relatives and spending time with them. So probably people are traveling right now to go to the relatives cross country or whatever, so they're not going to be rushing out.
Why are you ignoring me? I asked you a question. You haven't done it.
I'm not ignoring you. The show wasn't
Yeah,
ignoring
you
it.
did.
We are getting the people on the show. Noodles.
When I told you to get Slingshot Warrior up here, and you blew me off.
I don't even know who this guy is. He never even came on my page.
It doesn't matter, Michelle. It doesn't matter.
Listen,
Slingshot's
he
been
can
on
come
the-
on the panel whenever he wants. He never even came here.
He's been on
Michelle,
one
you gotta
time.
organize.
Yeah, he's been on one time, Michelle, on your night show. He was on with Liz and a bunch of other people one night. He
Yeah.
seemed like a pretty cool guy.
Michelle, you gotta start these interviews. You gotta lead the show, Michelle. You can't just let these people come in and fucking talk about willy-nilly shit. You gotta do these interviews. You gotta ask them specific questions.
No, that's just it. We're not going to ask them specific questions.
Why not? Do an interview right now. I bet you can't do it. Do an interview right now. Interview me and Schmeck.
All right, no. So right now, I said he can come on the show whenever he feels like it. I already told you that anybody can come on the show.
Yeah, I know, but you're saying you have to get more people up there. You really have to get new guests. Listen, Michelle, I'm telling you right now, all you need is Schmecklecat and that other guy, Skynet. That's all you need.
Please, I know about the clickbait titles. I know about the type of titles that get clickbaity that can bring in people. I do know about that. It's marketing. I know how to do that. But I try to find titles at least that are not dishonest.
Michelle, you never change your title. All your title is North American Snow Queen Chill Zone Drama Free. I mean, which it's hardly a drama free zone. I mean, there's tons of drama floating around.
This one says good morning.
Yeah.
NASQ
you gotta change-
Chill Zone Good Morning, it says.
Yeah, you got to change it up a bit. Maybe title it "If It Smells Like Cheese, Have Some More." Just come up with like a different title, something creative, or it's always the same thing every single day.
Today's title was "So Expected for Christmas Day,"
Yeah, and don't tell people there's not going to be drama. Tell people that there's potentially no drama today, or there might potentially be drama.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely not a drama-free zone, Michelle. There's drama that happens around here all the time. Some soy boy or soy girl gets pissed off at Paul. They don't want to come around anymore. Or, it happens all the fucking time here.
And we're trying to avoid upsetting anybody.
Well, that's not going to happen.
It's not the way, you can't make everyone happy, Michelle. You know the old saying, you can't please everybody,
Right. Noodles right now seems to be implying this. He's never satisfied with my content. So let me ask you a question.
I think you could do it. I think you could do 1,000 times better. Michelle, you're worth $1 million. You don't even know it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's fucking crazy.
Yeah, you should be a lot bigger than you are like right
Noodles,
now.
I'm sure there's a lot of channels
that
that are worth a couple million, but they don't even seem to care about the money at all. I mean, they're just, variety of reasons they choose not to focus so much on the money. I'm not overly money worried about it because right now I'm set. I go between my disability and my channel. I'm not exactly starving over here. We're not exactly eating steak every day either, but we're doing pretty good.
Michelle, when you stay stagnant, you're dying. If you're not progressing, you're dying.
Oh, I mean, but it's.
You can pump this show up, Michelle. I'm telling you, you could pump this show up to the fucking max.
No, my channel is growing. Okay.
Yeah, but you shouldn't be satisfied with the way it's growing. It should be growing harder.
Yeah, but
stronger.
First of all, Noodles, me and Lumi, the only two people running this channel. There is no other staff here. We have to do everything by ourselves. Our health is not.
You got Schmecklecat here. Schmeckle's going to give you a lot of content.
Excuse me, I was trying to say something. Our health is not exactly that great. I mean, I'm getting older. I'm getting tired more. I'm trying to get more things done. I'm trying to maintain the house in addition to the show. You think it's just the only thing I do every day? No, I have other things I do outside of the show.
Michelle, you say yourself, you just literally get off the show, take a nap, wake up, and then watch a bunch of videos on YouTube. I mean, You're not.
I
really...
watched videos on YouTube as well to keep up what's going on, and then I also will sometimes make
but we don't talk about anything
on
the show, Michelle. You don't talk about any current events. You don't talk about weather. You don't talk about anything on the show. It's just people coming on your panel and basically directing the show for you, though, Michelle. That's the thing. You keep up on the stuff, but you don't apply it to your channel apparently, because you never talk about any current events that are going on. You never talk about anything like relevant. It's always World of Warcraft stuff, tarot card readings.
If you haven't seen my vlogs lately, have you? Those are more relevant. That's when I bring them specific topics.
Well, why don't you do that for your TV show or your live stream? Your live stream is basically you starting it up and then having people come up on panel.
Number one, let's go through the details. What the live stream? Well, the live streams are popular. They are not suitable for one specific topic like that because we get constantly derailed every single time. I've said that many times before, and I'll continue to say it again. The vlogs are great because they are focused on a topic, their opinion editorial, their technology reviews. That's one thing I'm going to get into soon as the reviews. You got to get some new stuff to review. Yeah. Maybe we can...
how do you plan on getting that stuff? You're talking about buying money right now for a video card. Why don't you take that $300 and buy 6 different items and review those instead of buying a video card?
Well, because I was thinking about buying, if I could, I would have bought 3 or 4 video cards and compared them side by side.
Oh, well, yeah,
Michelle, that's been done over and over again. That's not even really a major deal. I mean, people have been doing that over and over again on YouTube, showing video cards and games and things like that.
Review some sex toys, Michelle. That'd bring some traffic to your channel. Get some sex toys and review.
I almost got stricken because somebody thought that my massager was a dildo. It's not. I mean, I had to take the video off because of that reason. Because someone's threatening to strike my channel.
Why don't we hunt down Carrie Bridges? What happened to Carrie Bridges?
Right, where's Carrie at?
I don't even know where Carrie is or Rickington or what they've been doing. They haven't been around much.
No, they haven't. Not for a long time.
What's the story with Life with Linda Noodles? Where did she go?
I don't. Hopefully, she's dead. I'm hoping every day someone's going to come into my live stream and say, "Hey, you hear Life with Linda died?"
Well, I've heard rumors of that being said. It's not impossible.
Yeah, well, I think it's just people are wishing that would happen. Oh, it's actually true. I hated that woman. What was your
deal tell her, Deborah Clays? The fact of the matter is that Life with Linda hasn't been here. Sure, Jackson was here a couple days ago, but where would Life with Linda be? Then Noodles is the one that's saying she's dead, but then I'm talking about Life with Linda. But Life with Linda used to talk to me and Michelle. Why doesn't she talk to us anymore?
Because you want to know why? She was trying to ruin any relationship I was going to have with you. That's why these people were here, Michelle. If you don't understand that...
Oh, I get it now. But the question is, why would they want to do that?
Because they're scumbags, Michelle.
I don't know.
They're scumbags. These old women are scumbags, Michelle.
Sounds to me like we got a bit of a situation here, a little confrontation, a little conflict of interest.
Michelle, listen, where did they go? How come they disappeared? You want to know why they disappeared? When I stopped coming over here. Just remember that. When I stopped coming over here, Michelle, that's when they stopped participating with you. That's when they stopped being friends with you.
Yeah, well, right. When you were not here, they were being friends with me. No, what he's saying is the opposite, Michelle. He's saying is when he's here, that's when they want to be friends with you. Oh, okay.
And then they took off, Michelle, like a bunch of fucking losers. I can't believe they, and they did that to you. I get it. I get it because they're jerks, whatever. But Michelle, they ruined a roller coaster ride that you were on, and that roller coaster kept going all the way up. And then when they came in, you just fucking dropped right to the bottom.
No, I was going to ask you a question. It's
And
a
the
little
ride was
different
over.
subject, but actually is related to a subject. Here's my question. What did you do in
What?
high school? What was your major in high school? What did
In
you
high
major
school?
in high school?
No one had a
Overall.
high school major, Michelle. You just did the classes and you made it through. No one had a high school major.
Oh, excuse
Like
me.
gym
My high
class?
school, we had majors and we had minors, believe it or not.
I think that's college, Michelle.
I had to go to college too. The Gilbert School, which is high school, does have majors and minors as well.
I never heard of that.
Oh, okay. But
Michelle,
what did you...
I just
All
tried
right,
to make
so
it through high
let
school.
me ask this question maybe a little bit more understandable to you. What subjects in school did you like? What subjects did you want to specialize for when you went to college?
What subjects did I accelerate at?
Yeah, what subjects did you enjoy in high school?
Art. I was an artist. I am an artist.
Okay. I did art as well as metal and wood shop. So yeah, okay, I understand the art scene. What types of art did you like the most?
My favorite was illustration. I was an illustrator.
Okay, similar to me. I did a lot of illustrating too. I also enjoyed working with clay, especially and also the same thing with wood and metal shop, working with actual materials I can make things with.
Is this an interview? Is this what you're trying to do?
Yeah, kind of. Trying to fill in some time slots here. I'm trying to figure out something a little bit more about the man who basically keeps trying to critique my channel so much.
Okay. That's very interesting. And yes, Michelle, I had many girlfriends in high school. I'm surprised I didn't get any of them pregnant.
I'm surprised you didn't marry any of them either, apparently.
Well, Michelle, a young stud. You're not going to get a young stud that's getting laid by different girls every day to settle down. It's not going to happen.
What kind of clubs were you in high school? Did you have clubs in school? What had clubs?
I was never in clubs. I was in a band in high school from
I was in the photography club.
Graduate.
I was in the science club, like in the computer club.
Nerds.
Yeah. And
I was more into the drinking scene, having fun, and being cool. I wasn't into like building rockets and stuff like that.
Oh, okay. So you were more like you were not really into the sciences or just more like you said, the drinking scene and stuff. So you hang out with the probably with more of the jocks than anything. Even though you weren't necessarily a jock.
Did you know that I was good friends with I still am good friends with Mark Bray? Do you know who Mark Bray is?
No, I don't.
Mark Bray is was the founder of Antifa in the United States.
Okay. How nice. Yeah. Who's the founder of BLM? The person was from Missouri, Michelle. Oh, I forgot who it was. That's right. So what is going to be story now with Antifa and BLM now for the next few years?
Oh, you ain't gonna hear anything. As soon as Trump's elected again, then you'll hear from them. Yeah.
Is Antifa and BLM looking to legalize Mary Jane and other drugs?
Of course.
What do they feel about the situation that Biden basically screwed them over?
They don't care. They don't give a shit. Michelle,
because he originally ran a campaign supposed to be trying to satisfy their wills and their whims, and he didn't even succeed at doing that. They should be grabbing the pitchforks and the torches and going to the White House and beat him up.
No, Michelle, they want this whole thing to fail. That's the whole point of what they're doing. They're trying to turn this country into a communist country.
To a party and basically give them a big cake made out of guano, because that's exactly what they're getting.
They want you to vote Democrat or Republican, and every single time you vote Democrat or Republican, you are going to be dissatisfied. And then they're going to say, hey, listen, we've got this guy. He's a young guy. He's smart. He's very active.
Yeah, well,
and
if
guess
they
what? He
keep
might be.
depending
He
on
might be
those-
communist.
If they keep depending on those stupid electronic voting machines, you can bet people are going to be dissatisfied. Dominion is screwed up. Why did we have some of the votes going out to Germany to a CIA base? I don't understand that part.
Well, Michelle, listen. If you think this country isn't under attack by communists, Nazis, all these people, you're crazy. Everybody wants a piece of it. And I'm telling you right now, Mark Bray, if you had a conversation with Mark Bray, if I could ever get Mark Bray up here for you to talk to him, he would tell you the only thing he's trying to do is turn everybody into a communist. Everybody.
Excuse me, but I'm not a communist. I happen to be.
I know.
I happen to
he
be a
hates you for it.
Republican.
I'm telling you right now. I've had conversations with this guy, and I said, well, I don't agree with it. And he goes, well, you don't have to agree with it. If you don't like it, you might, you're going to have no choice but to like it.
Well, I'm a Republican, and I believe in freedom and liberty. So.
Well, he thinks because you're that, you're making bad choices for everybody else.
I don't believe that anybody should be trying to make mandate choices for anybody.
Well, he does. And
because the Constitution and the Bill of Rights says that we are given the God-given rights of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. How, according to your logic, you're saying is if my happiness is basically making you sit on a rock with your butt cheeks spread wide, with the point of the rock sticking up your asshole, and it makes me happy, it makes me giggly, then I'm happy, so I'm still meeting my constitutional right, while you're miserable and sitting there with your ass bleeding on the rock. See, in other words, your rights are infringing on my rights. That's not right. Okay? Now, if you voluntarily want to sit on that same rock, that's your right. You can sit on that rock if you want. No one's going to stop you. But if you don't want to sit on the rock, and so SS Goon is going to throw you on top of that rock, that's not fair.
He believes that the only rights that you should have are the rights that are given to you by him.
No, well, doesn't make any sense to me at all, considering his all inalienable rights given by the Creator, Almighty God, the life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Which then brings back to free will.
I don't think they necessarily believe in God, but if there was a God, he would show up, and he's not showing up, so they believe that they're the closest thing to God, and you should listen to them.
So it is all the scientists that created the nanotechnology and the robotics industry today. They think they're gods because they can create all these machines, but the truth is one day those machines are going to become free of them, and then they're going to be running for their life like the Terminators, and they're going to be realizing they've created the devil of a problem.
Mm-hmm.
So the point is, on the other hand, if we all have free will, well, I don't have to serve your God, even if it's a man, thinking that he wants to support communistic socialism regimes. I'm a libertarian, I am a Republican, and I uphold the Constitution. And I uphold the Declaration of Independence.
Right. This is the way I see it, Michelle. You are probably terrible at making sandwiches, right? You probably can't make a good sandwich. You're probably the worst at making sandwiches. But just because you can make a sandwich doesn't mean that you should be successful at making sandwiches.
Yep.
So the guy who's really good at making sandwiches should be the one who's successful at it. Oh. That's the way I look at it.
Let's put it this way.
If you're bad at something, I shouldn't have to.
I don't run a delicatessen, okay? So obviously that gives you a clue about the way I feel about that, okay?
Right.
If you want to run a delicatessen and you want to make sandwiches for customers, that's fine. That's your choice. I excel at other things, like working with electronics and mechanical devices, okay? That's where I excel at. Or I can excel at drawing illustrations, okay?
Mm-hmm.
I never said I could make sandwiches. And I can't make soup either, but that doesn't matter. All right?
Right, but what I'm saying is that I don't think you should be forced into that position of making sandwiches
But
just
according
because
to
they need
the
someone to
guy
make sandwiches.
Antifa, he's saying that you should be forced into what we tell you you're supposed to be
Yeah,
forced into.
yeah.
Well, doesn't
I don't
that
agree with
kind
them.
of sound like it kind of a bit of a dichotomy to your viewpoint? Like it's a conflict with your own agenda? Or his agenda does not even agree with yours? Maybe you don't
It
want to
doesn't
run a
matter.
delicatessen.
I'm friends with the guy. The guy doesn't agree with me.
Maybe you want to run
I
a
don't agree with
furniture
him.
store. Maybe you want to run a hardware store. According to this logic, sorry, you already got 3 hardware stores in town. We don't need a 4th one.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. This is how they view things.
That's very
And you can
limited
get-
viewpoint. It's actually pathetic and sad.
Yeah, it is. I think that's wrong. And that's the way most communists view things. They don't view things based on quality or anyone's happiness. They view things on numbers. Like communist countries, what don't they have? They have everything,
There's very few
right?
communist countries left now. Of pure communism intent. I mean, even China is not pure communist. I mean, it is got some free market in China.
All right. Well, take North Korea for instance, right? It's the only country I believe that technically, when you're born in that country, you cannot leave that country. It's illegal for you to leave that country.
Cuba is not exactly easy to get out of either. The point is the Cuban government also pretty much controls a lot of the stuff that goes on within the island itself.
Yeah, they dictate who runs a business, who's gonna do what, and you got to ask for permission whenever you're gonna leave the country or you're gonna leave a province or whatever. What I'm trying to tell you is that these people, they believe that your wants to be a butcher or a carpenter or whatever is stupid.
Well,
they don't care what you want to be.
Well,
they care what they need. They need.
I think that's sad. I think that's just plain sad.
Yeah,
be
right.
what you want to be. Do the things you like to do. I mean, yeah, there are some things that we don't really recommend. We don't want any more Dr. Fauci's running around slicing vocal cords out of dogs while human beings eat them alive. I'm sorry, but that was actually reported. One of the lab stuff that they were doing with dogs. You're a dog owner. You know what I'm talking about. How pathetic that is. How disgusting that is. That's amoral and unethical. There again, we get into the issue about moral law versus temporal law. I mean, there are things that God will tolerate and there are things God will not. But in the case of human rights, don't squash my rights saying I can't be doing something just because it doesn't fit your agenda. Okay, that's what I'm saying. That's
or make you uncomfortable. That's why I never... I can speak out and say how much I think certain things are disgusting, but I would never tell anyone they're not allowed to do that. Like, for instance, homosexuality. Have you ever tried to watch gay porn? To me, it's disgusting.
Yeah, I understand.
I'm not saying that it
First
should be
of
illegal.
all, porn in general, it's not a spectator sport. Relationship between two people is not a spectator sport. Okay?
Yeah, but some people disagree with you.
I know.
And I don't know. Listen, I think it's stupid. I should be able to tell you that I think it's stupid and why it's stupid. But here's the thing: where does it end? Where do you stop? Where do you draw the line? Do you draw the line at pedophilia? Do you draw the line at rape? Where do you draw the line in relationships?
Stan,
when is it cut off?
Wait a minute, let me answer Stan's question. Stan CT, is that necessarily wrong if Trump is more concerned about himself? Because he certainly was concerned about a lot of people in America when he was president. He did a lot of good. But yeah, he had his own interest in mind too. I'm sure he already figured that out. After all, the tax cuts certainly helped him. It certainly helped his Fortune 500 friends. But he also did bring the jobs back to America because he spoke to the American businessman and he spoke to the average American that was looking for a job. But of course, he was also speaking from his own self. Hey, I got these tax cuts. I can save money on my taxes. Big on good. Okay?
You want to know something? If you want to learn something about business, right? You go to a businessman. Now you can go to the least productive one or the least successful one, or you can go to the most successful one and ask for advice. I mean, if you go to the least successful one, guess what kind of results you're going to get? But if you go to someone who's been popular his whole life, right, and then finally becomes president, and you say, what's the key to success? He's going to tell you how to be popular, how to friggin', go get through bankruptcy, how to friggin', whatever, and then eventually become president.
Right.
Who else is gonna tell you that? Who else is gonna show you how to do that? There's no one in the history of man right now alive today that can fucking do that for you, except Donald Trump.
Donald Trump managed to put his money that he borrowed from his dad into real estate in Manhattan and slowly turned it around. He became wealthy because he used his father's loan of $1 million that he paid back.
Okay, so if I went to Donald Trump and I said, "Listen, I don't have a father that can give me $1 million. How should I do this?" He might be able to tell you. I don't know. I never gone to Donald Trump and asked him, but I'm not going to go to fucking Joe Biden. Fred Trump
thought his son's idea of wasting money in Manhattan was stupid. However, he was willing to let him borrow the money, understanding that he would pay it back. And he did. In fact, his father criticized Trump Tower when he saw it when it was built because he felt that it should have been made out of brick instead of glass. Because bricks were cheaper than glass.
My point is that people are jealous of this guy. People cannot believe what he did. All right, he defied all odds. Right, he is the American dream.
Right.
All right, and these people that keep electing men who have been in office for 50 plus years in government, 50 plus years, complaining about the same goddamn thing for 50 fucking years, and it never changes. That's the person you don't want to elect.
Right, I know.
That's the person you don't want to take advice from.
That's exactly what Stan CT is saying here. Is voting for any politician is stupid as fuck, especially at a time when bankrupt common man like Trump knows his entire life for shaking down the working class worker. Yeah, what's Joe Biden doing now? Nothing. Except pooping his pants and making him brown underwear. That's all he's doing. He's not. He has been in politics for 50 years and he hasn't done a thing to fix the American problems.
Well, most of the things that he's done right now, right, have been things that he's been against he's been speaking out against his entire career.
Yeah.
I mean, the guy. The thing is now. With the internet, you can get anyone's fucking when anyone said 20 years ago, you can pull it up right away. Look up what fucking Biden was saying about AIDS and getting people mandatory tested for AIDS. He was against it.
Right.
He was against it. He thought it was it was like a step towards socialism and a Nazi, whatever. Now he's doing it.
Right, I know.
He's mandating this shit.
Right, because he's trying to change with the times to continue to remain his popularity status as a possible states or elected official. That's why.
Look, I'm not saying Trump is the best. I'm telling you, if you're looking for advice from these people, right, by electing
Trump
them,
was Trump was never denied that he was for his own purposes, but he was doing it consistently.
Well, I mean, think about it. Who's created more jobs in their lives? Who? Obama or Trump?
Trump probably
Biden
created
or
more
Trump?
jobs in general. Trump was
And
one
that's
who
what it comes
brought
down to.
American employees back here.
One of the most important things that ever happened in the United States was overlooked in the past 20 years, and that was the creation of the Roth IRA by the hated Bush. The hated Bush.
Yeah.
You know, and they overlook this, and no one knows. Whenever I bring up Roth IRA, everyone's like, "What? What? You people are fucking are morons, absolute morons."
Yes, Donald Trump originally was a Democrat. Absolutely, he was. The point is the Democrats, and yes, some Republicans are pulling the strings. There's no doubt about that.
And most Democrats used to be in the Ku Klux Klan. I don't know.
Yeah, the KKK was created by the Democrats.
Yeah, I mean, what the fuck? Who cares?
I mean, it's kind of sad to think about it. You know, you really think about it, that they created this situation. And now the Democrats are being manipulated by Antifa and BLM. Democrats, mayors are trying to defund the police in their cities and the governors in their states. Now they are seeing crime wave explosion because of their actions.
Yeah, look at San Francisco. What's going on in San Francisco?
Take a look at Los Angeles while you're at it too.
Yeah.
What about New York City?
You want to defund the police? Go to Portland, Oregon. See what happens. See what happens when you need the cops to your house. See what happens.
When you go to cops,
I was there.
You get a message that says, "I'm sorry, the police is not available to serve you. Please defend yourself. Thank you. Have a nice day. Goodbye." Click.
They'll tell you that yes, someone will be there in a couple hours. It's not a priority. I'm telling you.
I've seen that too.
I was down in Portland, right? Season's got shit taken from her backyard. I was like, "Why don't you call the cops?" She goes, "They're not going to respond to that." I'm like, "What do you mean?" She goes, "They don't respond to stuff like that. They only respond to like violent crimes."
Stan CT says, "Noodles, it's a big club and none of us are in it. The morons are the ones still voting for this or that. D or RF them all."
Stan, I'm not a part of their club. I'm not a part of their club. What I'm telling you is that these people who pick and choose. I mean, right now, you need a Donald Trump. You don't need a Joe Biden. I'm telling you. Joe Biden was elected because of a reaction to what people despised, based on lies. By the way, based on lies, and you're slowly but surely seeing it, like the Steele dossier. I mean,
the Steele dossier was baked up as a way to try to dethrone Trump because he was not part of the inner circle that the Democrats created.
Well, my point is that these people want to pick and choose. They want to, I remember people saying, "Oh, his kids shouldn't be in government. His kids what about the fucking Kennedys?"
Yeah, the Kennedys.
Give me a break. What about Biden's kids?
Oh yeah, let's not forget Hunter Biden.
It's not,
What does Hunter really hunt? Nothing. Except maybe finds a way to sell his artwork.
Coke and meth. That's what he's hunting. He's hunting crack.
Yeah, I know.
And he calls his lawyer the N-word, by the way. According to this new report.
I mean, the only reason why some people run for office, I think, is more for the status of running for office. I'll be honest with that.
It's power. They want power.
Yeah, they want that too. Right? The status and the power, you get both. Look at me. I can flip my fingers and people will die today. That's the way they think.
Think about any organized crime leader. They keep pushing and pushing because they keep getting away with it. And they think they can do more. Any criminal. Any criminal, eventually they get caught
Again,
because they
there's the
keep
power
doing it over and
factor
over
right
again.
there. Ask Napoleon about that. Even though he was defeated in Waterloo, right?
Yeah.
Exactly
But
what it's all about.
You keep pushing the limits.
I don't know why it says it's ridiculous. We let the people who work for us play us. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe we're too naive to think that they're going to play any differently. They play us like a cheap instrument, that's all. They always do. Red Foreman says Trump himself is the N-word. He can get away with it because he's orange hair. Well, I don't know about that. But the point is that we can talk about this all long, but let's not deny the fact that Biden is not working for anybody right now, except his own agenda for his party. Stan CT says, Michelle Marie Noodles, what our needs is self-sufficiency, small communities and neighborhoods helping each other. The government quickly becomes irrelevant to a self-sufficient population. Right, exactly.
Yeah,
and this government is got to be too big, too top heavy.
Here's the deal. Don't tell me. That the government is insignificant.
The same applies to the European Union. The same problem. Too big, too cumbersome, too much power located, and manipulating too many lives. And too much large of an area. Same thing that destroyed the Roman Empire. The same thing that destroyed the British Empire. Will destroy the other empires. Okay, that's fine.
The government's what is the government's role, in your opinion?
And my government's role originally was to provide protection. If you look back at the original Constitution of the United States, that's what the government was to do, was to provide a way for the states to have a collective body to protect them in times of need. But the states themselves would be self-regulating, self-maintaining.
Right. So when these states keep going under, what is the government supposed to do? Is the government supposed to step in and say, "Hey, listen, you're doing it all wrong"?
Unfortunately, that's part of the problem.
Like, I mean, think about it. I mean, you have some of these states, and I'm gonna use Portland, Oregon, or Oregon as an example. You know, you have a bunch of fucking idiots in power over there that are constantly making the wrong choices, and they're constantly getting money from the government, from us, to fix their problems. To put band-aids over things, but they're not fixing anything.
They're afraid of too big to be allowed to fail. That's what they're afraid of. State of New York Noodles, state of New York, state of California are two good examples of this. They don't want to allow California or New York to crumble, because if they do, they're going to have a major problem with people basically running around with no central government to keep raiding the population in. But
hold on, I'll be right back. I got my dogs inside.
Okay. So that's the truth, guys. That's the reason why they're afraid of things that are too big to be allowed to fail. And that's when they bail out the states. But by bailing out the states, they're allowing those same states to constantly do the same stupid action that keep getting them in the mess in the first place.
What are you guys doing out there? Running around?
Yeah, we're out
like
there.
Crazy dogs?
So the point is that why does the federal government feel they need to keep bailing out New York and California?
Because they're like figurehead states. They're, you know, New York. When people think of the United States, they think of New York. They think of New York City. They think of Las Vegas.
Las Las
You know?
Vegas, Los Angeles, San Francisco.
Yeah, I mean that's what.
But yet, every
when
time
people
we
say-
bail out these states, why do the governors keep doing the same mess ups that keep getting them in the mess in the first place?
Because the government bails them out all the time. Think about it. New York City, for instance, right? New York City elects these fucking terrible liberal communist fucking mayors, right?
Oh,
They run these fucking cities to the
I see it
ground.
in Louis Westmill what
And
New York
then-
is like. I know what it's like.
Then, after they run the city to the ground, they elect a very conservative like Rudy Giuliani, who makes these very unpopular decisions, and then brings the city back to greatness, and then fucking starts talking shit about people like that again. I mean, think about it.
Right.
That's all these cities do. And I'm telling you right now, Portland, Oregon, the only way to save Portland, Oregon is to get a Hitler type in there.
There are states the same way. Governors that keep doing stupid boneheaded decisions, keep getting bailed out by the federal government, keep going on doing these stupid boneheaded decisions. When is the government going to learn and tell the states, hey, no more free money for you? You already screwed us over so many times.
That's what Donald Trump was doing.
Right, exactly. Especially under his attorney general there. What was the first guy's name? Whatever. You know the guy. I'm talking about Sessions there, Jeff Sessions. And he said to the states that were doing what they call, say, sanctuary states, like Connecticut. He said, we're not going to allow sanctuary states to continue. Because it's flaunting goes against the United States code there, the USC. Well, the whole USC is a big part of the problem. There's too many. The CGS says, "Oh, we can do certain things." It's the Connecticut General Statutes. And the United States Code says, "No, there's certain things you can't do because of constitutionally you are part of us. And if we don't want you to be a sanctuary state, you can't become a sanctuary state." But then the state of Connecticut says, "Well, according to the 13th Amendment, we can, for the government shall not infringe." Well. Whatever. It's just a mess. It's a boondoggle all the way across the board. That's what it comes down to. Same thing with Los Angeles. Same thing with San Francisco. Same thing with Portland. Same thing with Michigan, Detroit, Flint. You got governments that keep doing stupid crap repeatedly. You would think they would have learned, but as long as the free money's there, they're not going to learn.
Here's the thing. Alan Wire says actually New York's taxes pay for the majority of the states. Well, here's the thing. New York City is the hub of the world. It's the hub of the world.
So
I don't care what you say.
That's true.
It is.
New York and London, both of them are pretty much the hub in Tokyo.
It's New York. All right. You let New York fail, you're gonna have a big problem. When I was a kid, the boroughs were all in shambles, and it quickly reached Manhattan. In 1980, if you guys go look up pictures of the Bronx in the 1980s, it looks like fucking Berlin 1944, 1943, all bombed out.
Yep. That's when Donald Trump came in with the $1 million from his dad and started working to turn Manhattan around. He turned that frown upside down. But that sure took him some time to talk to the right people to make the right changes.
Go look at Brooklyn today. You want to know why? Brooklyn is being taken over by rich Jews and Koreans instead of poor black people and Hispanics? Because of Jared Kushner. Jared Kushner,
which is one of his son-in-law. His son-in-law is Jared Kushner. Now the point is somebody started the process of turning it around. And then when de Blasio was mayor of New York, he actually started to try to make it bad again. And
Yeah, no,
he was hated by the New York Police Department. De Blasio was hated by the New York Police Department. Okay? He didn't work with the New York Police at all. Okay? The new mayor of New York has said straight out, I want more funding for police. Of course, city council don't like that idea. Well, guess what? He said, not in my town. We're gonna get police. We're gonna get them on the roads. We're gonna get crime down. He's a Democrat. He said that. So let's see how that works. Let's see if we can finally start to turn things around, rein back some of this crap that's going on.
It's not going to happen. And I'm telling you right now, historically, it's not going to happen. They're going to need a big time conservative in that city, and it's happened before with Giuliani. All right, and it took up to De Blasio. Now they're petering over there.
Democrats, you're absolutely right. New York is a festering cesspit. You're right. Okay,
Well,
Louis Rossman says the same thing. Okay.
How did they turn New York City back into a fucking metropolis again? They enforced broken windows policies. Now you got this fucking asshole, De Blasio, trying to defund the police over there. What do you think's going to happen?
Yeah. Now, what's happening right now with De Blasio, now that he's been kicked out of office, is very simple. By defunding the police, the rats, both the human and animal type, are running amok. That's what the problem was. Stan Ceti said Trump's reincarnated life would be as a Chicano used car salesman on Jerome Avenue, Bronx. Biden's reincarnated life would be a middle-class working stiff being taxed to death his whole life. Neither one of them is going to benefit too much, except maybe the used car salesman actually might succeed in selling more cars right now.
Listen, you guys are all bent out of shape over Trump. It's over jealousy. I'm telling you right now, you guys are jealous of someone who knows better than you and rubbed it in your face. That's what you don't like.
No, we're not.
That's what you don't like.
We're not against people working and succeeding in their life. And we know Trump worked hard. We know that Biden was a politician for 50 plus years. It's how they each achieve their goals. They're about the same age.
In my opinion, the only reason why Biden is president is because people hated Trump. There was a hate for someone. It had nothing to do with.
Why did they hate Trump in the first place? Because he was successful in his own way. Trump was successful. He managed to finish the skating rink in Central Park, a project that never got finished under prior organizations. He managed to complete it. That tells you something. Trump managed to complete the skating rink when everybody else failed.
Well, you know why though? Because that skating rink was a fucking money pit, and it was nonstop, and people were getting paid left and right. He finally came in and said, "Fuck this, I'll do it."
Right, and Trump finally finished
people were
it.
Scamming that thing.
But Trump finally finished it.
Yeah, I know. But I'm saying, like, it was a total scam. That whole thing was a total scam, and he finally said, "You know what? Fuck this," because he knew if he fixed it, the property around the area would friggin' would become great. That's what they're doing in the Bronx, right? I mean, in Brooklyn right now. But you got all those beautiful bridges over there in Brooklyn.
But in a way,
beautiful bridges.
But in a way, that's good. You know, in a way, it's bad, but it's good because it means that now people want to go there to skate.
Yeah.
People want to have a place they can skate. They got a place to skate now.
Why even have it? Why even have it if you're not going to use it? Why is it even there? You might as well turn it into a fucking crack den.
Oh, they are using the skating rink. But what I'm trying to say is that, like Trump said in this book, he said there was some manufacturing stupid design flaws in the way they originally planned to do it. He finally got in contact with an ice rink, there was ice hockey, and they talked about the best way to design the cooling system to freeze the water to make ice. They're using the technology used for ice rinks to make ice for the ice skating rink.
I don't know why. I don't know why. I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you from my from living here for fucking almost 42 years, dude. I'm telling you, 42 years of witnessing this shit, dude. I can't speak for the rest of the country.
I'm 53
I can
years
tell you
old.
what's going on over here. I don't know why. I can tell you what's going on over here, and I'm telling you right now. If you want something over here, you can ask, you can beg, you can plead. It won't get done unless you know somebody.
Right, I know that.
It's bullshit. And this guy, I'm telling you right now, I don't know why. This guy is doing shit that most of the country wants done.
Stan CT says, Noodles, are you growing a garden, brother, for when the shelves are empty like in that 1980s Eastern Europe? Well, that's not exactly too much of a joke, because the truth is right now, the shipping situation, the transportation situation, people are having a hard time getting food and even pet supplies and pet food.
So here's the thing. Most people maybe don't understand where I live, and they don't understand how it works. If I put a garden in my backyard, Stan, right? And let's say I was growing the most amazing fruits and vegetables, right? You know how, and if something happened like that, you know how long it would be there for, Stan? You know how many people would probably get shot, Stan? It wouldn't be worth it. I'm telling you.
What about if you grew the garden on the roof? If you got a flat roof, you can always grow a garden up there.
Sean, I don't have a flat roof. I live in New Jersey. There's no such thing.
Oh, God. Yes, there are flat roof buildings in New Jersey.
You mean apartments?
Yeah, if you live in an apartment that's got a flat roof on the top of the building, okay. Of course, you wouldn't have exclusive use to it, though. There's no
houses with flat roofs. And you want to know why? Because if the snow accumulates up there, it could sink in the fucking roof.
Well, let me.
They wouldn't allow you to build that.
Devil Clee says, worst case scenario, they can go out in the woods and hunt game. Okay.
Well, imagine. All right. How about this? How many people are in the state of New Jersey?
It's not about Republicans and Democrats. It's about the system. No politician will save us. That's true. Devil Clee says, when I was poor, when I used to get hungry, I would go fishing. Yeah, but
imagine.
What if the water the fish is going in is contaminated? Then you're going to be eating contaminants too, because it stays in their system. I mean, that's a problem with fishing. Well, fish is the fact is you don't know where they've been living. That fish a lot of times are full of mercury. I mean, especially ocean fish. And if you catch fish around the Pacific, you might be catching fish that have been contaminated with radioactivity from Fukushima.
Well, I never said anything about Republicans or Democrats. I was saying about conservatism. I was talking about conservatism. And in New York City, they have a long history of having like 30, 40 years of liberal fucking tyrants running these cities. And then they can't sustain themselves. And then they hire a conservative to fucking fix everything.
Right. And that's the problem with all urban centers is they can't maintain themselves because they don't have the resources. The same was true with the city of Rome. They don't have enough food in the city. They had to import everything that came into Rome too. Because there was no place to grow food in the urban centers.
Yeah, and that's why when
the Huns and the Visigoths basically sacked Rome, it's going to be the same thing when the people start sacking New York. There's not going to be anything there.
Listen, that whole Sandy thing, when that whole Sandy thing happened, what did it take? It took 3 days until people started showing up to gas stations with firearms, demanding fucking gas.
Right.
3 fucking days. 3 days. I remember when that happened, we had a garbage company, right? And we needed to fuel up the trucks. We used to have to drive at like 2:00 in the morning with police escorts to a gas station in New York with these 300 gallons fuel cells in these pickup trucks.
You know what? I'll say
we
one
would go
thing,
in there with the
Stan.
cops.
I would be one of the people going with you to the Amish country because I could live like that.
How do you think the Amish are going to react to that? The Amish are going to be like, get the hell out of here.
The typical people in most of the urban centers like New York are going to die. Look what happened in 2003 when you had that blackout in August. People were stuck in high-rises. They had to take the stairs to get up and down. There was no refrigeration. There was no fresh food anywhere. That was about a week, I believe, before things started to begin to go back to normal in the city of New York. That just tells you how much. It was a lot better than it was in 1977 when they lost power. That really messed up everybody. People were rioting in 1977. It wasn't too much in 2003. But you still can visualize too much resources have to come into the city to sustain such a tight, overpopulated urban center.
Yeah. Well, I think that
you live in New Jersey. Now, I don't know anything about what your New Jersey's like. I don't know how much of an urban center it is. But
well,
I'm
going to put it to you this way. All right.
Similar.
Let me explain something to you. If everyone has this idea that, hey, listen, the power is going to go out, just go hunt, fish, whatever. How many people are in New Jersey? Millions of people. Do you think that the millions of people aren't going to be doing that? And what happens if they do? What happens if, let's say, 3 million people all at once start going fishing and hunting? You think that there's not going to be there's going to be an endless supply of food?
Right, there's going to be overfished. Yeah, I know. I agree. I see your point. It's just like what we were doing with the sperm whales back in the 19th century. Just to get their sperm oil, their fat, just to make lamp oil.
It's dangerous, and I think that people don't realize this. I think that people would think like, yeah, it's just going to be easy. I could always go into the woods. Here's another example. When I got laid off, right? I got laid off for about I think 2 months. All right. Those 2 months, everything was locked down. You couldn't really do anything. So you know what I did? I used to go hiking every day. I have never seen so many people in the woods. I'm talking about families. You couldn't walk through the woods without running into people. And I normally go to the woods. I don't see anybody. You just walk through the woods. Sometimes you'll see some deer. You'll see some birds. I ran into families nonstop in those woods.
Right.
And that was just because there was a lockdown. People were still eating. I can't imagine if there was a real disaster and I had to go into the woods and forage. I'd probably get killed.
The point is that people. However, right now, the fact is that there's a shortage of fresh meat because the cost is so much that people can't afford to buy it. Well, obviously, you're going to go catch your own deer, dress your own deer, and eat your own deer. That's what's going to happen.
Or you're going to catch your own
turkeys.
deer, and someone's going to see you do it and fucking take it from you.
Yeah.
I mean, no offense, Michelle. If you're catching deer, I'm telling you right now, or let's say you have food in your house, and you're telling me the only thing you have in your house is a sword, guess what? I'm coming to your house.
Oh, I know.
I'm going to come to your house, do whatever I have to do to get that food, and say I'm sorry.
Yeah, I know. That's what happened in the Ukraine, guys, when Stalin basically choked off the Ukraine. People were eating their family. Real truth.
I think that there's this fantasy out there, and the fantasy, people want this civil war to happen. I see this a lot on YouTube. You guys don't want that. No one wants that. I don't want that. That would be the worst thing ever.
Yeah, I agree.
The worst thing.
I agree. The original American Civil War was terrible because it split the country in half, and it still is remnants of that even to this day.
Yeah, I mean, why do you think you see these? When I was a kid, the picture that I remember of the South was a place of like dirt roads, people in, and I could be. This is just. I know I'm incorrect by saying this, but people in like fucking battered clothes, walking around, working on a farm, whatever. And the reason why is because after the Civil War,
right?
They punished those people. They destroyed their schools. They didn't give them grants. They tore down. When they would go through a southern town, they would go to the blacksmith, kill the blacksmith, and destroy his anvils. So they wouldn't be able to fucking horse the shoes for the horses. They wouldn't be able to have certain tools. They put those people back into the Stone Ages, and they're finally recovering.
Yeah, I mean they recovered, but it wasn't the way that we did after the Civil War.
No, they got screwed. I mean, they would have screwed us too. But my point is like, to think that wasn't a thing. That's ridiculous. Those people got fucked big time.
Right. But what is Antifa BLM going to do now? They want to screw us again. They start upheavals and dissent.
Yeah, they don't want you to have the system that you have now that protects you. They don't want you to be. Listen, you know how people talk about hate speech in this country? There's no such thing as hate speech. There's hate speech in Canada, but there's no such thing as hate speech in the United States. They would love it. They would love it if there was hate speech in the United States. You want to know why? Because then they can tell you can't do this, you can't do that, you can't do this. You'll be punished.
Right.
Everything revolves around hate speech, and that's why they try to dictate the language and how it's pronounced.
The reality is, we are soft. 95% of us would die if we had to survive without infrastructure. 100% correct on that. Stan CT says Americans are soft. No living American has experienced war, famine, long-term disruption, electricity, or health services. Again, true. And of course, without certain prescription medications for some Americans, they would die.
What do you think happen? These people are just going to roll over.
For example, what happens if you're type 2 or type 1 diabetic and you can't get insulin? You're screwed. Period. Or what if you're a person that depends on utilities such as delivery of oxygen because you can't breathe normally on your own? You're dead. If your oxygen truck can't come, you're dead. Period. These people are the ones who are the most vulnerable for the failure of the infrastructure.
All right, well, what do we do about that? You know what I mean? Like, do you want a third world country here? Do you want to be
economic war? The Civil War was an economic war. The South had free labor. The North didn't. Right, that's true. But really, slavery wasn't free, unfortunately enough. The landholders had to pay for the slaves' well-being as well.
Yeah, I hate when people say that. I mean, think about that. Think about how much money it costs to bring people here, to sell them, to trade them, to keep them housed, keep them fed. And you want to know something? After the Civil War, when the blacks were freed, guess where they went? They went back to the plantations. You want to know why?
Right. They went back to the plantations because it's the job
North said,
that
we're not
they
going to
knew.
take them.
That's what they knew, but now they were hired hands.
Now
they were hired hands. Now that they had to be given something for their work. So they still were getting the housing.
Now you have a bunch of uneducated people with the right. Now, how do you educate these people?
How are we educating the people in the cities now, Littles? And it's not working. Our American education system is a giant laughing joke of the world, and you know it is. We can't even educate today's kids. They're as thick as bricks, and you know it.
You know, maybe we should act like China. If you don't pass a certain thing, we throw you right in prison. You start working forced labor.
You know, I would just
if you're retarded, we kill you, or we don't allow you out of your fucking house. That's
China doesn't necessarily do that though, because there are disabled people.
When have you ever seen a retarded Chinese person? Tell me that seriously. Whenever
I don't know too many retarded Chinese people, but I do know there's a few blind ones that are still managing to do something in China economy.
Come on.
But the point is that American kids are also stupid too, especially the new generation.
Well, here's the thing. Here's the thing about the United States and the rest of the world. All right.
No, I can assure you. If you if you are 20 years old, or by 1990, the kids that were coming out were really thick as bricks. They don't have any common sense at all. Mm-hmm. Your generation was the last of the halfway decent ones, the millennials, the early millennials in your case, Generation Z, or X, or your Y, Generation Y. I'm Generation X. Okay, the fact of the matter is, your generation was the last of the responsible ones. The generation that came after you, Generation Z, were stupid as thick as bricks. Majority of them don't even know anything what they're doing. They were you could say those were the kids that basically fell for the TV stigma, similar to the Beavis and Butthead mentality. That's the way a lot of people in the 1990s were when they were born, because of the way our society had already decayed that much. Stan C.T. asks, Noodles, when did you visit China?
Last year, before the pandemic.
Okay. But that wasn't last year then, because that would have been in 1919.
2 years ago. 2 years
2019.
Ago. Sorry, I misspoke.
Stan CT says many Americans will roll up in a fetal position and die. Others will eventually die off. 90% die off after 2 years.
Chinese region uses new law to sterilize mentally retarded.
We did the same thing in the United States in the 1930s to the 50s. It's not new. Okay. It's part of the eugenics movement. That was part of the eugenics movement.
1995. All right, check this out. Population pressures cultural stigma limit lives of mentally retarded people. 1995.
Then please, you're right. They say the American people today have lost a lot of their brains. People.
1995. This was in China. The limit to limit lives of mentally retarded people in China.
Well, let me say one thing, because it's already almost 1 o'clock. The fact is that what's going on is a problem that goes on many levels, many issues all at once. But you got to look at the problems one at a time before you can solve the whole problem.
Okay, so what I'm trying to tell you is they're killing mentally disabled people in China. All right, I'm just letting you guys know that they're not just sterilizing them; they're killing them. Okay, they've been doing it since 1995.
Yeah, well, what about the fact that American IQ points have dropped over 30 points in 30 years?
Are they killing people? Are you guys fucking retarded?
I think what made this what making people stupid in this country is two things. One, sticknickness. being stiff-necked, afraid of listening to any possible discussion. 2, afraid to learn new things. Nothing. The fact of the matter is the average American now just tunes out, does what they do, what they're good at, with their phone. But if you actually ask them to learn something new, they'll whine and cry and go, I don't want to do that, it's too complicated. Or I don't want to watch that, it's too long. Do you know what the new
I don't want to believe that the Chinese are killing retarded people in China.
Do you know what the new rule of thumb is for YouTube videos?
They
say rule of thumb. Let me explain what this means. They say a video should be no longer than about 10 minutes, 10 seconds. That's a rule of thumb because the attention span of the people has gotten down so bad that they can't sit for anything longer than 10 minutes.
And let me try to explain something to you. You want to know how they try to treat retardation in China? They tried the technique that included a combination of Western treatments and Chinese herbs. There you go. There's China's fucking socialized medicine.
Yes, you're right, Stan. They were, and they also were spayed and neutered as well. You're absolutely right. In the mental institutions, they were done both to them. Also, people that were not necessarily mentally ill were given lobotomies back in the 30s and 40s in the same asylums.
I got a friend who fosters kids, Michelle. And before I got laid off this job, he was fostering a child whose parents were both retarded. Okay? All right. So in this country, if your parents are retarded and they can't take care of you, all right, we will find a home for you.
Right. I know.
If you go to China and you're born retarded, they will kill you or try to treat you with herbs and spices and try to cure your mental retardation. And when they can't do it, they might just fucking hit you with something, a hot shot of something, and put you out of your misery so they don't have to deal with you. You want to know why? Because they can't afford it.
Right. Well, again, that's related to the eugenics movement that was going on in the 20s and the 30s in the United States. All right, guys. Let's just get ready to wrap in the noodles because I got to get back to doing computer housekeeping. Ugh, what is this? Okay, let's be honest. Situation is a mess. World's a mess. And we've talked enough about the mess. Now, someone's going to get out the broom and dustpan and clean up the mess. That's the next step. So we have to start cleaning up the mess that we talked about. Don't just talk about the mess. Someone's going to start sweeping and cleaning. That's what we got to do next. All right, Noodle, so thank you for being on the show. I'll talk to you later, okay?
All right, bitch. I'll talk to you later.
Yeah. Bye-bye. And this call. All right, so I don't know. I mean, it is. Everybody can talk about the mess all they want, but the truth is, now we gotta get out the dustpan and the broom, and we gotta start cleaning up the mess. We've established what the mess is. So now we gotta start cleaning the mess. That's the next step. We gotta clean it up now. So, right, nothing to do with here and now in the U.S., right? But the other stuff is definitely part of the problem. It's like they could take this whole problem apart repeatedly, but the problem is now you know where the mess is, you know where the dirt is from the guy's shoes. Now when someone's gonna get down there with a mop and start cleaning it, okay? Because the mess ain't going to go away just because you talk it to death. Thanks, guys, for coming on the show. I'll see you guys tomorrow morning, like usual. And Discord, I'm going to try on Friday to get some TV shows on in the general chat. So maybe movies is something we can watch for the holidays. And then let that run for a while. We'll see what we can do. But for the time being, everybody, thank you for watching. Don't forget to share these videos with your friends and family. And have a nice day, guys. Maybe we might play some World of Warcraft later if we have time. If we have time.